Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another rendition of Mir Musk, episode 21, the Rob Saul interview. And honestly, it is a
Wow.
pleasure to meet you, sir. You are a living legend around these parts. You're a bartender by day and night and a podcaster by midnight. You are
Yes.
honestly one of the most inspirational, I would say, influential people trying to break out into the podcasting game right now, working his job, working his main job and doing podcasting on the side. You're honestly a person that we look up to, the common people look up to. You're a man's man, and there's no denying that. You are a man of the people, sir, and it is an honor to have you on our show today.
Welcome.
Am I being punked right now? What's going
No,
on?
I'm actually being honest here.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, listen, thank you. I appreciate that.
No, yeah, of course. You're truly a great man, and I kind of just want to
Sorry, I can't even keep a straight face when you say that, but I don't know how you do. But
because I'm a very genuine individual. All right, I try to keep it 100% on here.
Okay, well,
I kind of just want to dive right into you and who you are as a person, so the fans can just understand who you truly are as an individual. So let's just go off right off the top. So you started bartending before podcasting, is that correct? Way before podcasting, you were a bartender?
no, I wouldn't say that. I was like kind of out of work, and I got married, and I had a
Right.
daughter, and I started podcasting, and then like eventually I had to get to work, and I started bartending. But yeah, I podcasting was
was the
first
baby.
before bartending. Yeah.
What inspired you to become a podcaster, sir?
I mean, I grew up listening to Howard Stern. I was a big Howard Stern fan, and I just grew up. And I remember Googling in 2009. I was sitting home with my infant daughter, like,
Oh,
how can I do a radio show from home? And this podcasting thing showed up. This was 2009, before everybody had a podcast.
oh, so you're an OG then.
Yeah, so I started podcasting, and I ended up doing stuff for like CBS Radio. I ended up being featured in like New York Post, Page 6 News. I was interviewing celebrities, because now, like, you try to reach out to a celebrity and tell them, "Hey, I want you to come on my podcast." They're like, "Fuck you." But back then, nobody knew what a podcast was. They were like, "Oh, it's just another media outlet." And
Right.
I was able to get like actual famous people on the show.
No shit. All right.
Yeah.
Who'd you get on your show?
Well, I mean, the big one I can remember is like, and not like it's that big now, but back then it was Brad Garrett, and he came on, and he was talking about this movie he was going to do called Tangled, and he said, I said, well, what's Tangled? He said, well, it's like a modern day Rapunzel, but oddly enough, it's her pubic hair. She hangs out the window. It's kind of African and
That's hot,
weird.
yeah.
And then Brad like had me and my wife at the time set up to go see his show, and then all of a sudden he like cut us off because there was like this thing in New York Post. It was called Brad Garrett's Raunchy Rapunzel, and it was like talking about like the dirty stuff he said to me about his about the movie. But it was just weird. I don't know.
How'd they
Right.
hear it though?
What's that?
How'd the newspaper hear about it?
We were on at the time, podcasting wasn't that big. The only place you could be on podcasting was a place that was called Blog Talk Radio. They might still be around, but it was called Blog Talk Radio. And what happened is our show was featured on there because I was always on the grind, and I was always like getting the different celebrities on the show, so they always featured my show. And then one of the guys that worked for Blog Talk Radio, they they heard the show, and they had connections with Page 6 News, and they were like, hey, listen, could be a good story. And
So he was snitching on you, bro.
well, I don't know if it's snitching. He said he was trying to help my career, but
blow you
Whenever
up
someone says that, never trust them.
yeah. But that's how that went down.
All right. So you kind of got your feet wet in the game, 2009. You're doing your thing. Go ahead. What's up?
Can I just go back and just a quick one? So where's your accent or what geographic area were you like growing up and doing all this in?
South Jersey. I've always been
Okay.
from the Atlantic
I
City
thought you
area.
were
So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
thought you were a Jersey guy, but I wasn't sure.
yeah, Atlantic
Okay, that's
City, New
cool.
Jersey, and I've that's what I did. I was out in Jersey. I was doing my thing, and that's how I ended up. I ended up doing this, and then CBS Radio picked my show up, and
That's fucking awesome. How was that experience working with CBS?
it was interesting. I ended up interviewing uh, I was mainly known for like interviewing people.
Right.
Uh, and I ended up having Grace Slick from Jefferson Airplane on the show, and just like all these old timey people that I like.
Right. So it's cool for you. You're like, oh shit, okay.
But that's how I ended up getting linked up with Bob Levy, and how I ended up in this like
This
realm.
hellhole.
Yeah, this realm that I'm in now.
This seventh circle of hell you're in right now.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, let's get into that a little bit. So what was your first take on Bob when you first met him, and how was your experience working with that?
I mean, I always liked Bob. What happened was, is I was doing this show with CBS Radio and doing all that, and I was always like, the whole reason I wanted to do this, I was just like, from the time I was a little kid,
Right.
I would get in trouble for listening to Howard Stern. I was just like this huge
shit.
Howard Stern fan, and that's how I got like involved in all this. But anyway, I ended up I ended up getting an interview with Jim Florentine, and it was like right after he broke up with Robin Quivers.
Okay.
And that ended up getting featured and put in a publication. It was like, Rob Saul interviews Jim Florentine about his breakup with Robin Quivers. But anyway, I ended up meeting Jim at this club in Atlantic City.
Okay.
Or not a club. It was a showboat and stuff. And we talked, and he was like, "Yeah, you should probably meet Bob Levy. Bob Levy's into this stuff and what you do, and
Right.
all this podcasting stuff." And that's how I,
What year is this?
God, I mean,
Like 2013, 12 maybe?
no, it was before that, because
Oh,
my
shit.
daughter was born in like 2008. So, and she was just a young kid, so it's probably about 2010, maybe.
So you have a long history with Bob then, and then he kind of got
Yeah.
involved with your show, or did you just have him on as a guest regularly until eventually you became a co-host, or how'd you guys work that
Well,
out?
no, I mean, it was just like Jim introduced us, and he would have me on his show. And then, like, right after he got, like, fired from Howard Stern, he was doing something on a network called Stickum, and he was on the front page, and he would have me and my cousin on, and we would just get these huge numbers with him. And we just, kind of did our thing. And
Right, you guys were killing it.
yeah, I mean, it was like the numbers were like outrageous, and it was just us being ridiculous. And it was like, I was married at the time, and my cousin was around, and he was dating my wife's friend, and she was cheating on him, but like
So everything's a little intermingled. And
everybody was talking about it. And then and now, like, my cousin is married to my ex-wife, but that's
keeping the family, baby. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
It's like a whole weird thing, but
So go ahead. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
No, you're not. You're not.
We want to know how that went down, kind of, and we got questions about the cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So, what you like? Based on what I know, you guys were living together, right? The three of
Yeah.
you, and and the child.
yeah, my daughter. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
what was it?
listen, this is something. It's a very uncomfortable subject, and people always bring it up, and people are like, "Oh, this is all Rob so wants to talk about," but I don't. It's just
No, you have more to say. You definitely have more to say.
It's brought up to me every time that I go on.
It's one of your key moments.
But no, yeah. So what happened is, my grandmother was upset because my cousin was getting high and falling asleep, and almost like
fucking-
burning down our place.
He's a
And
bum.
and he was coming over and doing the podcast, which was called well, first it was called Night Views Radio, and then it was called the Rob and Trav Show, and
Yeah.
it was doing really well in the podcast. This was, like I said, this was before like everybody had a podcast. So he said, well, no, I said that I would let him stay in the podcast studio because my grandmom was like, just fed up with him and just didn't want him there anymore. So I said, all right, well, you can come and do the podcast here and you could sleep in the studio. And then I got him a job at the restaurant I worked at, but he was on the same schedule as my wife at the time, and I was on a
Right.
different schedule than them.
Any further questions, Chow, on that topic?
No, I mean, like, what was the difference in age between like you and your cousin?
We were 3 months apart. I
Oh,
was born
wow.
in I was born in August of '82. He was born in November of '82.
Oh, that's
So
wild.
yeah, so I had him here, and anyway, one day I came home from work, and the police were outside of my house, and they said that you can't be here. Your wife has filed a restraining order against you. She said,
You're like,
"You-
what?
yeah, they said you've been beating her up," and I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, it was so confused because even my cousin, everybody would all talk about how pussy whipped I was by my wife,
Right.
and I'm like, "What the hell's going on?" And then I'm like, I'm confused. I'm talking to my cousin, and then
Of course.
all of a sudden he stops talking to me, and then I go to court, and all this stuff happens, and then my neighbor calls and says, your wife and your cousin are a couple now. They're out there, they're living in your house. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I ended up fighting it. I ended up winning my condo back in court. I ended
Good
up,
man. Fuck that shit.
Nice.
yeah, I ended up
Very good.
getting joint custody of my daughter. I ended up fighting all this, but it was like a whole ordeal that went down in front of everybody's because of this,
Right. It's like
this
a
Bob
public
Levy
thing.
network thing where me and my cousin did this show on Bob Levy's network. And Bob Levy, although we're not on great terms now, but Bob
Oh, you
Levy,
guys are fine. You guys are friends still.
no, yeah, but he always, he always had my back with this, and he knew what was going on.
So you're like a phoenix. You rise from the ashes every single time, and that's what I love about you, Rob. What I'm learning from you from the story and from multiple other stories I've heard about you. You're down on your luck. Your wife leaves you for your cousin and all that other bullshit. You're fighting custody battles. You're fighting property battles and whatnot.
Yeah.
How did you get yourself by your bootstraps and rise above the occasion to just go there and above? Like, how did you just get your shit together and just continue on and just keep fighting instead of just laying on your knees saying, you know what, I'm done? Like,
Wow.
what pushed you?
I wouldn't say that I'm, I rose above it. I'm still a pretty bitter guy, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah,
Revenge is sweet.
yeah, I mean, it was just like what happened is everybody was like, "You got to fuck this guy up. You got to kill him." But that's what they were saying. They were like, "This guy,
You gotta kill him.
yeah." They're like, you gotta beat this guy up, and you gotta fuck him up, and but they're saying like, yeah, he's crazy. This guy's nuts. He's been beating everybody up, and I was at the end of the day, it was about my daughter because my
Of course.
daughter is my world to me. So I said, I can't. I said, I can't. I gotta stay back and stay calm and tell the truth and bring people in that know the truth, which I did, and I won.
Okay.
Because otherwise, if I would have went crazy, they would have said, "Hey, yeah, Rob fucked up his cousin. Rob did this. Rob acted crazy.
Well,
he was crazy.
No
just
more
like,
daughter for him, or
yeah, like
yeah.
he's crazy, just like we all said he was.
Yeah, that's bullshit. So you fucking rose above the occasion. You took your you did all your custody, whatnot,
Yeah.
and then did you get right back into podcasting? Did you have that fire lit under you, or did you kind of take some time back away from the Bob Levy?
Well, I was in a dark place for a while. Now you guys, I feel like you guys are are setting me up here, but
I'm not setting you up, buddy.
no, no, no,
I'm really trying to understand who you are.
no,
See
no.
you all the time.
Like, God, I feel bad now because I do have problems with Bob, and we have
No, be
but
honest. Bob, be honest.
But yeah, Bob Levy, he kind of pulled me out of the funk, and he said, "Listen,
Yeah.
stop feeling sorry for yourself." And Bob Levy brought me on WMEX in Boston, and he had me co-hosting a show with him. But I really kind of checked out of radio, but he saw how miserable and what a dark place I was in, and
Right.
Bob kind of like, he dug me out of that and like forced me to start doing radio and podcasting again.
That's
So
beautiful.
I will give Bob Levy that credit. God, you guys are making me feel like shit now.
No, you're not. You're not.
No.
Nah.
Facts.
You're a beautiful human being. That's what we want to get out of you, the humanity. All right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Everyone has a story. Everyone has something to say, and you're no different. That's what
Yeah.
I believe. But go ahead. Chow, you want to say something?
Yeah, no, so that makes sense. So you guys, I didn't know you guys went back that far. Like I
Yeah.
kind of seen you make appearances and heard some of this story before. But I didn't know the origin. It was like Bob has been kind of playing internet this game on with shows and doing, communities and different stuff like this for a while, it seems like. I didn't realize that. So that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. And like, listen, I had a problem with Bob recently, and I just kind of, and listen, and I love Kevin Brennan. I think his show's great. I love Bob. I loved when they were together, and
Yeah, they're an amazing duo.
I've
They're like
but,
Sundance Kid and Cassie, or the fuck it is.
yeah, but Bob, Bob has been a pretty good friend of me in the past.
Right. So he gets you back out of the fucking despair you were in.
Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of got myself out in court, but yeah, he got me back into podcasting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I love you, buddy. So you're doing your thing. You're killing it with Bob.
Yeah.
Were you in? How did Chris Abels come to the picture with all this shit? With Levy, so you're doing your thing with Bob. I guess you guys started doing Levy Land, or was that later on?
Yeah, Levy Land was like way later on. Like Chris Abels, when
you guys already
the time I'm talking about, I don't even think Bob knew who Chris Abels was.
Okay.
Bob and I kind of went in separate directions again.
Yeah.
We didn't come back together again, I think, until like COVID happened, and then he was,
okay.
Yeah, and he was doing, and then he was like, "Oh, I have this comic, Chris Abels," and I started like, doing this stuff with Bob and Chris Abels.
And you like Chris at first? You're like, Chris is cool.
No, I didn't like Chris at first, and then I kind of warmed up to him because you always go with your gut instinct, I think. And
what persona did he give off to you when you first met him? When you
a douchebag and just like a hanger-on type of person that just it was hanging on to Bob. Like with me, it was like Bob kind of reached out to me, and this guy was on there, and he was like, just kind of coming at me like a certain type of way, and I'm like, oh, this guy thinks he's like, hilarious and funny, but he's not. But then like, Bob was like, oh, this guy's really cool, he's nice, and I gave him a chance, and he and behind the scenes, Chris Abels was a really nice guy and a cool guy, but once you go on air with him, he just makes up stuff and he lies, and it's just not a type of person that I want to be around.
Right. So you guys are. What show was this you guys were on at the time? Because it wasn't Levy Land yet. You said because Levy Land was way later.
No, it was Levy Land. Levy Land was way later. I'm talking about way later from what I was telling you about how I met Bob and how Bob was a friend to me while I was going through my divorce. Yeah.
How was your interaction with Bob when Chris Abels was on, kind of spewing his lies and weaving his shit? You're like, come on, Bob. He's kind of being an ass on camera and whatnot.
Bob just laughs at it. He likes it because he likes people.
Well, it causes drama.
Yeah, he likes the fighting and stuff, and Bob kind of eggs it all on behind the scenes, like, yeah, go ahead. He tells Chris, yeah, keep going with that because, he likes he knows that I am very temperamental, so he knows that if somebody says a lie about me or says that I'm gonna fucking flip out
You're like, no, that's bull. Yeah, I know.
and go nuts. Yeah,
I've seen you before go a little ham. Wasn't
yeah.
to say but you said you kind of started warming up to Chris though. So at some point in time, you're like, you know what? He's not a bad guy. His shit's actually kind of funny. His bits, his lies, it's all right. Whatever.
Not even the lies. He's just like behind the scenes. I would talk to him and then we would do stuff and plan stuff. And I'm like, all right, Chris. And I even had him on Saul show doing my show with me. And
how was that?
Then,
good experience?
Yeah, wow. I mean, it's all right. But I mean, but Chris, he just lied. Like it's like I'll tell you, Chris Abels and Bob Levy, dealing with them, like I can deal with Bob more because what Bob does is he likes drama, so he exaggerates the truth. I'll tell Bob a story and he exaggerates it and makes it like way worse. And it's like, it's annoying because like, wow, you're exaggerating this story I told you. But Chris Abels just flat out lies and like makes up stuff. And that's what annoys me.
Do you think he lied about even getting married?
Oh, I'm sure I don't know. I mean,
probably.
I was invited to the wedding. I didn't go, but
well, he invited. Did he invite Ray?
Sure they actually got married. Because I could have gone, so I'm sure they weren't just planning this to fool me. But
another great bit for them to use on you.
Yeah, but yeah, no.
So how was your experience on Levy Land? Like, were you guys killing it in numbers? You guys were doing your thing. And didn't someone drop off of not a program, but like a show or something like that, and you guys were trying to take that spot or some shit like that? I heard kind of what's happening. You guys were in the talks of getting picked up by somebody.
Oh, I don't know. I know we were trying to get on Compound Media, and we had a pilot there.
Okay.
And then we went on Shuley Network, but nothing seemed to work out. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are doing your thing. You're trying to get picked up. And then when did you guys start to have the show start to fall apart? Because I've heard like you would like rage quit and just leave the show completely.
Well, that was, I mean, that's true. We were talking off the air that I had the back surgery, and way before the back surgery, I mean, I was bartending and I could barely, I had my neighbor coming over helping me get dressed. I was in so much pain. So I was on so many painkillers, plus I was drinking on them. So yeah, I was rage quitting all the time. I was acting like a nut for the most of the time. But it was just I wasn't in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, you were in a dark place, yeah.
But and then they kind of, I don't know, they were like finding people to replace me when I wasn't there. And then we got on the Shuley Network, and then Bob said he didn't want to do Levy Land anymore. And then we all started trying to do our own separate shows. And, Bob was doing a ton of stuff over there. And then Chris Abels started this new show called Replayables. And all of a sudden, I mean, he
took off the ground running.
Oh my goodness. Took off the ground running. Let me tell you, I've never seen a show pick up like Replayables. I mean, he went on. I mean, I've had a channel for 12 years where I've had celebrities and musicians on, and Chris Abels gets on. He's monetized within a week. He's got thousands and viewers on there, and he's just like, I'm like, wow, Chris Abel. And even Kevin Brennan said, he goes, man, I was even looking at that myself and was like, wow, people are really fucking stupid. They're really loving Chris Abel's show.
They're drinking the Kool-Aid, man.
Yeah, but Chris Abels is buying viewers. Chris Abels has money. What he does, he's got this hookup in West Virginia to where he finds people who are dying that have no next of kin. And then what he does is he checks in and he sees if their taxes are paid off. If their taxes are not paid off, he can own the house and he flips it and sells it. So
that's horrible.
So Chris Abels has a lot of money through that.
So what I'm garnering from this is Chris Abels not only is a cunt on air and he tries to lie, but he goes behind the scenes during his own prerogative and takes the homes of poor and broken people
Yes,
who are down on their
exactly.
luck.
That's exactly what he does. I will tell you that.
Oh my! All right, that's interesting. Okay, so
Yeah.
he does that. He makes his money off of the
Yeah.
homeless and the poor.
And then he uses that money to buy viewers.
Buy
on
viewers to promote his own show, his
Yeah.
empire that he's
Yes.
creating.
Yes. Which,
And
and we're all supposed to believe that this, Chris Abel's program to where he plays clips, like all he did was take something like Talk Soup or Tosh 2.0, and what he does is it's like, oh, well, give me super chats and I'll drink. Woo! It's
Right.
just
it's very mediocre. It's not great content in the long run. It's not anything witty and or creative on his part. It's just a basic bullshit for fools to follow.
Yes.
Yeah. I see
Exactly.
Gina Bobina asking us to dig deeper on that. It's a very common practice in real estate for this to happen. It's when things fall into estate or, get a tax lien on them.
Yeah.
Then they'll do a sheriff sale. There's a whole like cottage business of what he's doing. It's not some rare thing. It's like basically like source zero for like beginning the fix and flip process that like was really popular 5-10 years ago with houses. Like buy something for cheap and then fix it up. But it's not like some rare thing he's doing. You can look it up. It's very popular.
Yeah. But I mean, he does very well doing that. He has money, and
Right. If you have no soul, of course.
yeah, and then and that's what happened, and that's why I got mad, and kind of like was done with like the Shuley network because Bob said he was too busy and he got rid of Levyland, and then Chris Abels, they were like, well, we're going to give him a show because, wow, look at this. It's an overnight success. This Replayables is doing so well.
Right.
We really don't need Rob Saul. He's not doing that well. I'm like, well, yeah, because I can't afford the numbers.
And you want to be a true individual. You're not going to buy views and whatnot. You have your audience.
Well, I mean, I have, and I admitted to it, but
okay.
I'm saying I can't afford.
I can't afford that budget. I thought the Shuley Network had a budget though for their shows, don't they?
Well, I don't know what they did, but I mean, no, they're not. They're not paying for it. I mean, Chris Abels is paying for his own viewers.
Well, it sounds like Chris Abels kind of outsmarted you. Like he bought the views for like the pilot episode, so it looked huge, and then like so you should have done that too.
Well, yeah, I just couldn't afford it. I don't rob dead people of their homes. So.
I don't rob dead people of their homes.
Well, how much? Views can't cost that much.
I would.
Oh my god, I'm dead. I don't rob dead people of their homes. Okay, no, I got a crazy question for you, man. So you witnessed this individual robbing dead people of their homes, taking advantage of the elderly, being just a lying, conniving scumbag to some extent. I don't want to take it out of context. His words, not mine. And do you ever like reach out to Bob behind the scenes and say, hey man, what are you guys doing with this guy? Like, there's obviously something wrong going on here. We need to talk about this. Like, why are you guys encouraging this and putting him on your show? Do you want that?
Bob is the one that initially told me about this guy that sells numbers, viewers.
So that's true. So he reached out to you, Bob did, and said, hey,
yes, he was,
numbers.
He said, like, listen, I think at the time we were trying to get on Compound Media, and he said, you should look into this guy because you're doing, because I guess Chris Abels was buying numbers for his show. Bob was buying numbers for Levyland, and Saul's show was looking kind of weak. So he was saying, listen, if you're going to be a part of this, you should, have this guy bump up your numbers. And I had the guy reach out to me.
Right. So I got another question for you.
Yeah.
So Chris Abels goes on the Shuley Network show kind of recently. I think it was like a few days ago, correct? Did you watch that, by the way? Where they were shooting on
I don't
you?
listen. Once I started doing Brandon, I don't even watch because I know it's going to annoy me, and I don't want to be like annoyed by like going back
by
and
these
forth,
goobers.
Yeah.
No, but they were shitting on you. They were calling you a liar. They're calling you a liar. And then Chris Abels is saying like, oh, it's just marketing that I'm paying this guy for. And then he said, it's this website I'm using. It's like, if you're spending money for marketing and it's a website, why are you paying a third party guy who's a comedian in the Vegas or what area he's in and whatnot? You know, like why
Well,
wouldn't
they're
you be paying
not.
through the
They're lying.
company?
They're lying.
Well,
That's the
yeah, that's the
yeah,
obvious thing there. I mean, no
yeah.
one's that stupid for marketing. And I think Patrick Milton said on his show, okay, explain the marketing aspect of it now. Like, explain it.
Yeah, there is no explaining. What it is they're paying this guy, and he has like all these iPads and and it's all robots. They put robot viewers on your number, and it's just to make you look good. And that's what Bob told me when he said you need to do this for Saul's show because we're trying to get picked up by this, and you're doing your own show. Your numbers need to be up, and
So
that's all it is.
Makes sense.
so you admitted to doing it, and
I did.
You said you had text messages of it or something like that, correct?
I did. I sent them to Kevin. I sent them to
Okay.
anybody that's asked me for them. I sent it to, and that's the thing. I didn't even go through it because Kevin initially said to me, "Because well, do you have text messages of Bob talking to you about that?" And I said, "Probably not." I said because Bob used to come here, right here to the studio every week and do Levy Land. And he told me about this guy in person. And then I was, someone sent me a clip of them, call me a junkie and a scumbag, and I have no proof. And I said, well, let me go through my text messages. So I went through my text messages and I found when this guy messaged me, this Nasir Steven Springer guy. And I said, hey, and I took a screenshot of this guy. I said, Bob, is this the guy that's bumping your viewers? Because he's aggressively reaching out to me. And Bob's like, yeah, that's the guy. And I'm like, okay, I got it. So I sent that. And they're like, oh, well, that was like over a year and a half ago. I said, well, that's when I said it was. I said it was a while ago that this happened. Everybody said I didn't have proof. And then when I did have proof, it was too long ago. But the thing is, I didn't come out of this saying like, "Oh, I'm going to get them." I have.
You're not a white knight. You're also as dirty as they are, but you're just
Yeah.
casing to everybody. Hey,
he's Jose Canseco, bro. He's like,
yeah, exactly.
He's ratting on the rest of the steroid users in the MLB.
No, that's all I said. Well, and I whose show did I do? Oh, Doug Nelson, Mr. Nelson podcast. I did. I said it wasn't like. I got mad and I said, fuck Bob Levy because, they were doing all these shows and not involving me when they got rid of Levy Land. I said, all I said was, what did I say? I said, I said, fuck that. Bob Levy's obviously not that great. I said, I'm team MLC. Because I like that show, and at least Kevin is open about hating me. He doesn't pretend.
No, yes, I've seen it. Yes, of course.
Yeah, I said at least he doesn't pretend that he likes me. I never had this stuff in the background, like, ooh, I got him now because I have this buying viewers. And what happened is Kevin reached out to me. He's like, why are you so mad? I'm like, I just, they got rid of me. I was trying to make money and they didn't give me a show. But I said, I know Chris Abels is buying viewers. That's how he got a show. And then Kevin was like, oh, that's interesting. What happened? And I kind of told Kevin what happened and he brought it out there. And then I didn't even have any like evidence. But then once everybody was like, oh, this guy's a liar, he's just making it up. I was like, and he doesn't have any evidence. I started looking for it.
Right, you did. You pulled a Sherlock Holmes. You started digging for evidence there.
I did, but because they were acting like I was just like some fucking drug addict that was looking money for drugs or something.
No, you're not.
I'm like, okay, you want evidence? That's what they said. He has no evidence. Let him show some evidence. I got evidence. That's all.
That's the classic thing, though. You attack people's characters, so people don't have to listen to them. You attack their character. That makes people not want to listen to you. Attack their character. It's 101 right there. So all this is happening. Did any of them reach out to you after you exposed them for their insolence?
No, and that was the most telling thing because anytime that I went on air and talked shit about Shuley or did anything, they would send me a link to come on the show and they'd want to call me out and fight with me, and I would go on and I would entertain it. I'm like, oh, it'd be a good segment, but yeah, it's been. I haven't heard a peep from Bob Levy, a peep from Shuley. Nobody has sent me anything. And not that I want that. It's not like I'm trying to get on their show because I'd rather be on MLC any day than be on the fucking Shuley network. I'd rather be involved with Kevin, but it just shows me. I'm like, wow, they haven't even like, said a peep any time that they've had any sort of disagreement with him. They've sent me a link and wanted to like call me out on air.
Right. Make a fool of you.
Yeah, and they haven't done it now because it's the truth, and they're hiding what they're doing.
Well, it's very simple. Oh, I was going to tell you though, sir, your camera's frozen. Are you able to change that at all, or is it kind of just going to be frozen from here on out?
Oh yeah, I am frozen. Jesus.
Yeah. No, you're good, man.
Can I ask what the rate was he was charging at the time? Like how many views for how much money, and like live views versus like video views versus subscribers, like what the per is?
I mean, it was different stuff going on, but I mean, I know for me what it was for $50 for 1,000 viewers.
Live viewers. There's just viewers.
Not live. I never bought the live viewers, but they did. Okay. He did sell live viewers, but it was $50 per 1,000 viewers after.
Why are we talking to him? Viewers? He's a great man. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, Carissa. I know she is like so like fucking obsessed with
She's
like
a fucking bitch. Continue,
wants you, bro.
Oh, I know you do. But
he's a whore. Keep going.
Anyone that believes him is anyone that believes. Listen, if I was going to go on and lie and make up stories, I certainly wouldn't put myself in it.
He is a man of the fucking people. People need to understand that. You are honestly a man's man.
Like honestly, if I was going to lie and say, I'm going to lie and say that the Shuley Network is buying numbers, I wouldn't say like, oh yeah, I was buying them too. I'm just saying, and it wasn't even a thing where I was like, I'm going to say. I just said Bob was buying numbers, Chris Abels was, I was, and that's all I told Kevin Brennan.
Right.
Every single channel.
I implicated myself. Right. It's not a lie.
Yeah, but Dr. Chow, what were you saying though about other channels?
Yeah, I would say 90% of the like 10,000 subs and up have fake viewers, whether they pay for them or not, or they use an intelligence company. Because there is what Chris Abels was saying. He didn't know how to explain it, and he was using it as a smokescreen, in my opinion.
But there is like
there is intelligence. Like you can do certain things to try to do it where it does benefit you, and all those like East Coast comedy podcasts, all those West Coast comedy podcasts, they pay for all their views, all that type of stuff. So it's like it's not like some mystery to like that everyone's leading on. It's like a cottage industry of it in its own. So I mean, it's like getting blown up,
I was watching, somebody sent me a link to the BS show, and I was watching, and they were like, yeah, and basically their excuse was like, Bob is too retarded and lazy to find someone to buy viewers. And I was like, wow. I said, that is really a good excuse, because if I didn't know that Bob brought this guy to me, I would believe that too. Because yeah, Bob comes across as, retarded and lazy.
Old boomer shit,
Yeah, not enough to do that. But
he's a sly fucking Gray Fox, man. You gotta watch out for that shit. That's what I'm trying to say. So Chris Abels is definitely buying views at this point, and it's proven. Chris, I mean,
they found it. I mean, I found a screenshot, and then I guess Patrick Melton found a bunch, and his
and then we use the excuse of the marketing company and whatnot. Why aren't you paying the marketing company instead of a third party individual for shit? Come on, you can't be stupid and see that. But do you believe the Shuley Network's buying views, though, to some extent, live viewerships and views? Do you think that's a possibility?
Well, that's what I said, and I've said that live and everything. I have no proof of that. I could tell you that the guy told me that he works for them, but I have no proof.
He works for them?
Well, he said that he does stuff for them. He gets views for them, and I've sent that as well. But yeah, I have no proof. I have proof that Levy and Abels have bought it, but I have no proof that Shuley knows about it or whatever. I have what this guy told me, but and that's all I've said. I said, yeah, I think it's possible. Kevin Brennan thinks that it's definite. I just say, yeah, it's possible, that
Right.
Bob
It
and,
could
and
be.
and Chris are doing it, and this guy's telling me that he does stuff for the Shuley Network. Yeah, I said, yeah, it is possible. But everybody's like, oh, you have no proof, Rob. So what is the proof with Shuley? I said, I've never said I had proof with Shuley.
Right.
I
That's not
just said
that's
it's
not your stick.
possible. I just said it's possible. But yeah, I have proof of Bob and Chris. But yeah, I have no proof that Shuley knows about it.
So how has this affected you personally? This you this coming out, this you're a whistleblower basically.
Yeah.
Have you been not verbally, I say internet verbally attacked? Have the Shuli
Oh,
Network
yeah,
fans
sure,
come
but I don't
against
care
you?
because like these people are losers that are coming after me. I mean, they're so upset, and it's either Team Kevin that are like Rob's the great guy, or Team Shuley that's like this guy's a loser and he's pathetic, and it's like it's all like you're either this team or that team, and you're coming after me, and it's like you're losers. For the most of the people that are coming after me, they have chat room names that are nothing to do with their real names. They have no real
Right.
pictures up. They're coming after me, and it's like, dude, you don't even have your picture up. You're a loser.
Fair enough. But you still like to try to keep alliances and enemies a little bit, right?
How so, Dr. Chow? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like you've been like talking about Kevin, how great Kevin is. You'd give anything to be like you'd rather be in that camp, Kevin camp versus the Shuley, and then like
Well, I didn't say I just say that. Yeah, I mean, and I told Bob that too when Bob was on MLC and he was playing both sides. Even when Kevin was trashing me, I would talk to Bob on the phone. I'm like, God, this is the best fucking podcast ever. And Bob would agree with me. Yeah, it's the best podcast. And that's why he stayed on it so long.
And you come on once in a great while too.
Yeah,
right?
but I mean, it was Bob was with me on that. It's the best podcast ever. And then even he's like, when Kevin was trashing me and Bob would talk off the side. I'm like, God, I love this podcast. It's so funny. I don't even care that Kevin's trashing me. And Bob's like, yeah, this is the best podcast ever. So it has nothing to do with like me versus Bob. Me and Bob have always agreed that MLC was the greatest fucking podcast. And now that him and Kevin, like I was able to separate that. When Kevin hated me, I was able to separate that and still say it. But now Bob, he can't separate that. Now that they're not there, it's like now Kevin's podcast is no good. It's just bullshit to me.
Okay.
That's it.
So I'm just trying to understand this from you because you kind of went on a tirade there about all this shit about Bob.
Yeah.
And Bob, might be somewhat incoherent, old, but he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to, I mean, not that they already are spinning this against you because, I mean, you got to do that when you're trying to cover up a lie. You just have to spin it. You can't, you can't say what you're going to say, but are you going to continue, I would say, doing the Lord's work and continue trying to expose these people for what they truly are, that is liars and whatnot? I mean, like, because Chris Abels refuses to expose himself. I mean, Bob, we don't know Bob's buying views anymore like he did for his old past show, right? Because you said he was to some extent.
Yes.
And I think Melton looked into it. There was like Levy land purchasing and went towards that guy too that you're talking about. So everyone already knows you're somewhat buying views at that point. But
yeah,
are you going to, I would say, to some extent, try to bury the hatchet with these gentlemen? To some, I mean, because because what I'm hearing from you is you still have no ill will towards Bob. You still enjoy him as a person.
Oh, I think Bob's a great guy. Yeah.
So,
and Brian Clowder's in here. He's not. He's a fucking drug addict junkie. Just so you know, Brian
Clowder.
Yeah, Brian Clowder's a fucking disgusting junkie.
Do you know him personally?
I gotta tell you, yeah, I know him personally. He's been to my house and he's come over and done work at my house, and he wants to be paid in drugs all the time.
Oh, okay.
Should we send him the link?
Should we send him?
Tell him to send the link because he's always trying to hide behind his girlfriend that's supporting him. He's a fucking loser, a junkie loser.
All right,
Go
I'll
ahead,
send the link
Brian.
right now.
Shots
Don't
fired,
prove me
Clouder.
wrong, Brian. He
I'll
says
send the
Rob's
link.
not to be trusted. Yeah, I'm not to be trusted. Why? Because I'm talking about what a junkie loser you are. You want some Adderall, Brian Clauder? Here, I'll give you some cocaine to set up my fucking studio.
No, like,
Damn.
I mean,
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian Clauder. Come on in. I want to see it. Yeah,
Dude,
he's a coward.
Well, I mean, like you're kind of become like a investigative journalist, like in this little Dabbleverse. So, like, what are you gonna try to look into next besides the view scandal? Because you kind of another thing you broke last week was the Ari Jane and Ray DeVito thing, right?
Yeah, but I honestly, I can't even take credit for that. Jake Hudson was on and he just started rambling on about that, and I didn't even know anything about fucking Ari Jane and Ray DeVito at fucking in Detroit, and then Ari Jane just starts spouting off like, "Yeah, I can't talk about that. Ray says I have a script," and that's just like, right in my brain. I'm like, "What?" I said, you tell me Ray DeVito says he gives you a script of what you can say. And just to me, I'm like, wow, that's an odd fucking thing. So I kind of focus on that. It was like kind of like an off comment, but yeah, I focus in on stuff like that because I'm like, wow, that's a weird fucking thing. If, Ray DeVito's actually given this girl a script that she can say, and he denies it, but I don't know.
Well, it sounds like the fallout from that was quite catastrophic.
Yeah.
So, dude, you really are a little hellraiser.
Yeah, well, what can I do?
Can't wait to see your next work, sir.
Yeah. Brian Clauder wants to know how's your wife cousin? Well, same as your fat fucking girlfriend that's supporting you, you dumb fuck.
What's she
Go
look
fucking
like?
snort a line of coke, Brian Clauder.
Let's come on. Let's hear more about Clouder. I don't know. I've seen him around, but I don't know much about him.
Oh, he's a big fat fucking drug addict, but now he's got a fat girlfriend that supports him. So you know what he did? He goes on and he's like, he calls me up and I'm like, hey, you want to come down and help me out? Oh, I can't because I have a girlfriend now and she's got me on a leash and I told her that I did drugs at your house. And I'm like, what you blame it on me? You're the one that was coming on. Yeah, I blamed it on you. And he's like, he blames coming over and doing work at my house and demanding drugs for it, but it's my fault. So now his fat girlfriend doesn't want him being around me.
Yeah, Mir, are you trying to?
You know what? Hey, Brian Clauder's fat girlfriend, keep him away from me.
Yeah, I just send the link. So if he wants to come on and
said he might be working, so
it's okay.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I appreciate your big piggish girlfriend keeping you away from me. I would appreciate you not being around me.
But I kind of want to get more into you though, sir, if possible. So you have this falling out with, I get not a falling out, but you kind of got dicked over by the Shuli Network, by Bob, by Chris Abels, or Playables, or doing their thing. You're like, you're just left there, with your hands holding the bag, basically. You get kind of
I just thought like, me and Bob always had a good relationship. And I just thought that I would continue to be a part of this, thing.
This little journey you guys are on.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen for you. So
yeah.
I'm being honest.
It doesn't. Yes. You're absolutely right, Lil Mir.
So I'm not trying to be a dick, I swear.
I know. It's funny though. I love it.
It's you know what? If you can laugh at yourself, that's the best thing I can give you though, at the end of the day. Right? Is that true? Right? Comedy.
Yes,
if you can laugh at your own failures.
And a lot of people say that to me, like, oh, you really just did this because you were being bitter. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I did do it out of being bitter, but it is the truth. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like I'm sorry that I'm bitter, but it's true. Yeah, sorry. That's just 2 and 2 right there. I mean, but so you started doing your own show, the Rob Saul show. Has that always been your own show, right, from the start?
Oh yeah, even when I met Bob, Bob. I had the show before I did stuff with Bob, and Bob was always a part of it.
Right. So, how has the Rob Shaw for you so far been going? Have you been, enjoying your viewership, your, I'll say your interactions with your fans? Has it been building the way you've seen it, you wanted it to be built, or is there a stagnatism going on with the show so far?
Well, I mean, I've been kind of busy doing other stuff, but yeah, I mean, I've been doing a lot of other podcasts right now. We're really kind of bringing the Rob Saul show back on
No,
Tuesday
you're the hot
night.
topic right now, man.
Yeah. I really got to bring it back. Tuesday night at 9 p.m. It's me, Doug Nelson, and Pat Dixon, and we'll be back to doing the Rob Saul show again.
Right. Okay, I got you. So
Yeah.
you're bringing back the Rob Saul show. So you've been kind of AFK from this whole entire podcast community. You haven't been doing any other shows that you've been running, correct? You've just been hopping on other people's shows here and there.
Pretty much since this has happened. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, this wasn't like a whole
Was
thing.
this a publicity stunt to some extent to get your name back out there? I just want to.
It wasn't absolutely not. Absolutely not. I will say that 100%. This was something that I got butt hurt and I tweeted out something one night.
Why now though? Out of all the time to do it, why now?
Oh, I told you. I was annoyed that I wasn't doing any shows, and I felt like Bob kind of like turned his back on me, and I tweeted something about it, and I was just nasty about it. And then Kevin reached out to me, and that's
I got you. Okay,
how this happened. Yeah.
Okay, so Kevin reached out and did all that good shit with you.
Yeah.
Bob and you are no. I mean, you guys are men.
Yes.
I mean, you just told him, "Hey, stop lying. You be honest. Whatever."
I haven't had any contact with Bob or Chris or anybody,
or his wife Gina, because I know she runs his shit too.
Yeah, well, Gina, I have, because Gina and I are friends, and
you guys are friends.
I still love you. Yeah, Gina comes to even when Bob doesn't come. Like Gina was at my last birthday party when Bob wasn't there. He was doing MLC. Gina is a good friend of mine. Yeah.
Well, has Gina had any take on this at all?
She's just kind of hurt by it all. She says this one stings. Yeah.
It stings because they're attacking you, or it stings because it's true?
It just stings that
you had to expose this.
No, it's for her. She's has nothing to do with this stuff between me and Bob. It stings because she's friends with me and she's married to Bob, and now me and him are at odds, and it's just like a weird position for her.
Has she tried to like being what do you call it? You in between two people, like kind of talk to you both and say, "Hey guys, let's talk about this as as gentlemen." And mediator, has you like offered that at all? You guys have a long history together.
She knows my personality and she knows Bob's personality. She knows that we pretty much take our stance, and that there's no like kind of mediation between that.
Really? Come on, you guys are friends though, man. You don't think you can mediate, but you couldn't just listen to his side, and you could listen to his, he could listen to your side.
We could, but it wouldn't be between like Gina. Like Gina wouldn't be able to like do that. But I mean,
be able to control you too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, it hurts me because like listening to you for the past hour so far, it seems like you do have a soft spot for Bob. You don't really care about.
Listen, I do love Bob.
He brought you back, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you guys are fucking actually. You guys have history besides just being online. There's actually some human connection there that's actually personal.
Oh yeah. I mean, Bob and I have been to his house. I've Bob and I have actually been friends. Right. Yeah, it's not just like some guy like Brian Claude or some big fat drug addict that just tries to get himself involved in this situation. Yeah, Bob and I actually have some history.
So I got a question for you though. So you see your friend, kind of turn your back on you, but just not involve you in what he's doing, right? And that kind of hurts you a little bit. And
I overreacted a ton. I will say that. But
okay, because you knew doing this, it would severely affect your personal relationship with Bob, correct?
Not at the time. I was not in the right frame of mind, but yeah, after it happened, yeah, I realized.
Do you regret it at all or no?
Yes and no.
Why yes?
Why yes? Do I regret it?
Mm-hmm.
Because Bob has always kind of been in my corner, and it's always like kind of stuck up for me. Even like when Shuley didn't want to bring Rob Saul show on, and he didn't. He he was talking. He's like, Rob Saul's does a good show. Rob Saul does this, and he was like kind of in my corner, and I think I kind of like took it out on him more than I should have. Just like Shuley not bringing me on.
Okay, I gotcha. And but
Yeah.
at some point in time, you don't regret it though.
I mean, I guess the only reason I don't regret it is because the nasty shit he's been saying about me since it happened, and just being able to be on my favorite podcast, which is MLC, which Bob had known that before when he was involved with it, and he wasn't. He knew that MLC was my favorite podcast.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
And so Gina's somewhat broken between you two because you and her are actually good friends. But she's
yeah, we
married
are
to Bob.
yeah. Well, I
And
mean, we weren't friends. We met through Bob. I mean, we were,
right.
but we
But you
became
guys had a connection. You guys had a
Yeah.
good connection.
yes,
So, and since you're in the Jersey area, you're not close, but you're within driving distance of the Levies.
yes.
Okay. So, all right, I'm guessing, when was the last time you talked to her?
I would say maybe like a week ago.
Oh, it's been a week. Shit. So when did you come out with this shit? I forgot the date.
Maybe a couple weeks ago. I don't know.
Okay.
Well,
So-
people reached out to her. Somebody told her, because I love Gina and I love her daughter and her son. I know them, and they're good people. So someone like reached out to Gina and said, like, Rob Saul said he's gonna dox your kids and you, and
oh my
and
God.
she reached out to me about that, and I said, Gina, I would never do that. Like, that's just not me. I would never do that. I love you. And she's like, I love you too. This hurts me and all that all this is going on.
The whole
But,
nine. Yeah.
yeah, but she, it was just like the conversation, like, no, I'm not gonna go like Chad Zumach on you and like,
You lose my goddamn shit and post your daughter's titties on my fucking channel.
yeah.
No, but that actually kind of interests me a little bit more is that not only did you, I guess you say didn't know what you were doing at the time, but the consequences of it is you possibly lost a friendship with Bob, but also with your friend Gina Levy.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
Damn. Just to go on your favorite show, MLC?
Yeah, that wasn't the reason. I was annoyed at the time.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You said that, yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't the reason I did it. But yeah, I was annoyed at the time, and I was in an intoxicated state of mind. I'd been off the old pills, but I had some alcohol on me, and I got annoyed, and I tweeted out some stuff that and I didn't tweet out anything like that, but then Kevin reached out to me, and I kind of gave him some information about the numbers, which was true. And it wasn't even about like Bob and Shuley. It was mainly about Chris. I was like, and Chris Abels gets a show on there, even though he buys it. But then that kind of like extended into like
Kevin's feud with those two.
Well, and then it came out, and it was like, that Bob was a part of it. And Kevin thinks Shuley's a part of it. I have no proof of that.
No one knows for.
I just have proof of Kevin and not Kevin,
right?
Of Chris and
Chris,
Bob.
right? No, we had Shuley on, I think last week, right, or a few days ago.
Yeah,
it was the day he did it. That night. We were the
that
first ones
night.
to talk to him. He said he was going to mention it on our show and never mention it again. Then it blew up, So
yeah.
But yeah, what did he say again, Lil Mir?
Well, he just said no, he didn't do any of it, right? He said, I actually, you explain it because I don't remember, dude. I was pretty.
Yeah, so he said like he, him or no one at the network has, made it, had bought views, but he didn't say that views had never been bought. So he kind of did the walk the line, like I didn't do anything, but I don't know. And he said anyone can buy views for any channel. He did all that type of stuff. So
yeah, well, I mean,
it was surface stuff.
It was true, and
yeah.
And I see people in your chat saying I can apologize to Bob. I'm not like I didn't do anything bad. I didn't give any all I said was about views being bought. I don't need to apologize for that because it did. And
why should you?
Yeah, people cannot trust me. I've never asked anybody to trust me. I've never said, please trust me with all your shit. It's just not,
Trust me, son. Trust me.
I have a big fucking mouth. And that's why Bob loved me on the show, because he said, you never keep a secret. I talk about shit about me that makes me look bad. I tell the truth to where it makes me look bad. And that's just, I have a big mouth. That's all.
So what is your take on the replayables? Because I'm not going to lie to you. I've only barely watched clips of it. What is your take on the replayables? Is it a good show, or have you watched it?
Absolutely not. I mean, I've seen clip. I can't sit through a show. I mean, you have you're playing clips of stuff, and then you're just yelling at the chat and
give me a shot.
Another shot. Yeah, that to me is not entertaining. That's just not.
Okay. Yeah,
and
actually,
I will say, like somebody said to me, like Bob Levy's way more talented than you. Fuck you. I said, I'm not even going to argue that. Bob Levy's a talented, funny guy, but I won't say that Chris Abels is.
I get the concept of it, and I watched some of it. It's just very chaotic. I even super chatted him once. I didn't know the concept. I just gave him a few bucks and was like, all right, now you're supposed to drink. And then they're like, okay, we'll drink. And then another one comes up and they're drinking. But it's, I get that, like, you can give them a reward of, like, it's a, what, like, when
we got another super chat. I won't take me a shot. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not my thing.
Jesus, so there is some hatred here. I'm kind of, I listen to you throughout the hour. You're like, oh, Chris Abels, kind of warmed up to him a little bit. It shows kind of.
I did, but I'm not telling you I don't like him.
The way
I realize what a fake, phony piece of garbage he is. Yeah.
Then you say he takes abuse of the dead and the elderly, and I'm watching the way you describe his show.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually some deeper disgust here with him, and I kind of want.
He's a liar. He buys.
What about his lying though? Because people lie all the fucking time, and you know that people lie all the fucking time. What about this man? Discuss you a little bit more about his lies than anybody else, because Bob lies, Julie lies, I lie, Chow lies, everyone lies. You lie too.
Like Bob, Bob, I've been friends with, and when we go on air, he exaggerates stuff about what I tell him.
Should that disgust you though?
It does annoy me, but Chris Abels just flat out lies. He's like, well, Rob Saul told me he wanted to be a couple with Karen Margolis. Like, I went out to dinner with Karen Margolis, and he like says that I was like trying to be a couple, and he just makes up shit. He just like.
Rob, real quick, meet our other co-host, David. Thank you for finally jumping on you both.
Yeah, sorry, I had a business meeting run late. Sorry about that, guys.
Continue, Saul, though. What were you saying, Rob?
Yeah,
that Karen chick's pretty dank, though.
Yeah, flat out lying is just annoys me. Yeah,
when it's about you
and make up shit at the top of your head, like exaggerating, like Bob does, is one thing, but flat out just lying, just to like get your name out there. And he's just like this kiss ass, like, I love the chat. I love the chat. And then like
he's a dancing monkey.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's what he is. A fucking dancing monkey. Lil Mir, you hit the fucking nail on the head. Thank you.
I'm glad to be of assistance to you, sir. But David, do you have any questions for this gentleman right here?
Well, I did watch like 2 minutes before I came on. You were saying that you have a big mouth and you talk too much.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer this. I don't want to get personal, but didn't like your wife have sex with your cousin or something like that?
We already covered that. We covered that.
We already covered that.
You gotta go back a little farther for that.
I talk about shit and I'm honest. It makes me look bad. So it's like, it's funny. It's funny. That's what cracks me up about all this, is because I tell so much personal shit about myself that people use against me, and they're like, they use this against me, they use that against me. But then when I tell something they don't want to hear, they're like, oh, well, this guy's a liar. He's a liar. Well, why wasn't I lying when I told you the other stuff that makes me look bad? Like, honestly, like
Rob, I'm the exact same way. Like, we had a show a few weeks ago where I talked to, like, I had a young girlfriend, and then because there's a fat person in Las Vegas doesn't like me, and he had his guys trolling the MLC chat, calling me a rapist and stuff like that. So it's like the same thing. I'm just honest about stuff, and then like you get attacked for it by these trolls these
You
losers.
do, but then when I tell the truth about somebody they like, they're like, "Oh, well, he's a liar." You know, his wife slept with his cousin. He was on pills. He was on this. I'm like, "Oh, well, that stuff's true." But once I say something about, tell the truth about something you don't like, then I'm a liar. No, I am honest to a fault. That's all.
And that's very rare, I would say, nowadays, because
Yeah.
we had Shuli on. He denied all this shit, even with Chris Abels and with Bob, which is bullshit now, which I learned from watching certain videos and seeing certain screenshots of payments and whatnot, and then talking to you personally, because you seem like a very personal person. And I don't think you'd lie to me right now. Like you said, you don't lie about shit. You're very honest. You're a very honest man.
Even when it makes me look bad. Listen, there's so much stuff out there.
You're not fucked up. You're not out of your mind.
Oh, I'm fucked up, but I'll tell you about it. I'm fucked up, but I'll tell you about it. That's all.
Haven't you been fired a bunch of times for drinking or something about like that? Like I remember KB talking about that.
I know. Well, that's another Kevin Brennan exaggerating stuff. No, I quit jobs a lot just because I get annoyed. But Kevin Brennan made it up a thing where I'm just like fucking getting fired from every job.
Right, just getting hammered and fucking flirting with the bartender.
That's not true. I would tell you if I got fired for being hammered.
Too many Grand Marnier shots, maybe. Who knows? Yeah. Neat, not cold, chill.
Well, one thing I liked when you were on Kevin's show.
I'm gonna take a piss. You guys run real quick.
Of us three, I'm the big MLC fan. Right.
Yeah.
So, what was that? Like, you didn't take Kevin insulting you. And I've talked about with Ski Mask about this as like an insult. It's like when Kevin insults you, it's almost like
it's like a badge of honor. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Like, okay, he insults the people he likes. He also insults the people he hates. But I would take that as a badge of honor. Because if Kevin just never talks about you, actually, with his personality,
that's right. As long as he's talking about, when Kevin stops talking about me, that's when I'm like, wow, that's when I'll get annoyed.
What did you think about Chad going back on the show today?
I did watch that today. I found that I don't know. I was torn. I was fascinated, and I watched the whole show. I thought that Quadfather guy kind of held up against there because Chad was trying to fucking just kind of tear him down like he was a nobody, and I thought he held up very well. I was impressed with that Quad guy.
It was like when Ski Mask was on with Stuttering John. I think Ski Mask actually kind of owned him that one time. I don't know if you saw that. It was like a Friday, and this is when Ski Mask was still like sober, because he's actually pretty good in the show when he's sober. When Ski Mask gets drunk, it's like Lil Mir knows this.
No, we've had him on 3 times during his last bender, and they were all amazing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I saw I did Stevie Lou's show the other day, and Ski Mask popped on, and I was
Stevie Lou has a show,
and I said, here we go. But Ski Mask came on and was like, I'm sorry, you did really well. I'd like to do a show with you, and I'm like, okay. I mean,
that's what they all do. They bring you into their trap, man. Don't ever take that shit. That's what they all say. Oh, you're doing well. Come here.
Yeah. I don't know. Ski Mask will call me up on the phone and be like, I just see his number, right? I just figure he's calling me, oh, you're on the air. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm hanging out on a Saturday afternoon watching college football. I'm like, what?
I do want to dive a little bit deeper into you, though, Rob, if possible.
Okay.
So, what do you think was a breaking point between you and Chris Abels on Levy Land? Because I've seen you guys have a lot of on-air fights that Bob somewhat instigated. You guys are having a lot of issues, and then I don't know if I read this correctly because I saw this on Twitter or X. You kind of just left the show and you didn't come back, and they kind of were like, all right, well, I guess he's just done with our show now. He doesn't want to be a part of it. Do you think that kind of affected you continuously being affiliated with Bob to some extent, like you just continuously leaving the show? Did that ever affect anything?
Well, I mean, I guess that happened. I've gotten annoyed.
They couldn't rely on you to be a consistent
co-host. I was there every week. I booked guests. I was always there. There was always times I threatened to quit, or sometimes I would leave on air and come back, but there was never like a time where I didn't show up for a show, or I just left and never came back. That was just
I love this right here.
Cain
and Abel, man. The biblical aspect of what you two are, two brothers fighting.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there was never a time where it's like, and Bob always loved it. Like Bob would like get it going because he knew like you know how hot-headed I was. So he would love it when I would like storm off a show. Like that would be gold to Bob. Like he would fucking love it. And I've never not shown up for a show. I've never left a show and not have come back. But yeah,
Have you and Shuli
Bob,
ever talked personally?
what's that?
Have you and Shuli ever talked personally before? Ever?
A couple times, yeah.
How was that interaction with him? Was it pretty decent? Would you say, or was he kind of?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Shuli's like a nice guy. When he returns, when we interacted back and forth and he responded back, he was always very kind and complimentary and very nice. And then when it comes stuff about doing a show or whatever, and he ignores you, then he goes on air and talks about you. That's a different thing. But
so that's interesting to me.
yeah,
Because I've talked to Shuli behind scenes.
yeah.
We've Dr. Chow and I have been on Shuli's show for some unknown reason, which was kind of interesting, whatever. And then we interviewed him, and he seemed very, I would say, personable. He seemed very nice and everything.
Oh yeah,
that.
when he's down to talk to you and he's ready to talk to you, yeah, he's very personable and nice guy.
Right? Yeah. So he seems like a great guy.
Yeah.
But then you see what he was saying about you on his show when you called his co-host and his other shows out for buying views. He became this disgusting, snarling dog, biting at, throbbing at the teeth, pulling against the fucking chains.
That's how you know when somebody's got something to hide, when they become nasty and venomous like that.
Yeah, exactly. I was very like, wow. And then he attacked Patrick Melton out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, and he used to love Patrick. He would talk about Patrick like he was the greatest guy on earth. But once Patrick,
by me.
But if you don't take his side completely, yeah, he becomes a venomous, nasty person because he has something to hide. And
that is something disturbing to me, though. That character trait is disturbing.
Well, yeah.
But Rob, also too with their shows, like that thing where Bob stormed off and then he went on Chad's stream or something and pretended almost
all that fake bullshit they do.
That's the stuff I don't like. I'm just like, this is then it makes it like WWE or like fake 60-year-old man drama, and it's just like that's what I said. But watching Bob act and storm off the show was more painful than my back surgery and the withdrawals from coming off my pills. And that's when somebody was like, "Oh, Bob's way more talented than you." I said, "Listen, Bob's a great comic. I know he's way funnier than me. I'm just saying his acting ability is not up to
It's garbage. It sucks.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Bob's a very talented guy and a very funny guy, but acting is not his forte.
But let's get back on what I'm going at, though. So Shuli doing these things, he's going on our show, making himself seem like a great, nice, good Jewish man.
Yeah.
He's proven all the great points that we need to believe that he's a great guy. And it's not because he's Jewish, David, whatever. I'm just being coy. I'm just being coy here. I might be Jewish too. Who knows at this point? But anyway, and then he just attacks Melton out of the blue. I know, David, you have discrepancies against him. I understand that. Yeah. I just want to prove that out there. I know you hate him, but Melton did nothing wrong, just asking questions, and then Shuli attacks him, destroys Rob on his show with Chris Abels, with Bob, with Mike Morris. They're just shitting on him continuously.
Yeah,
it was disgusting to watch. Just four fools on the screen just destroy that shit. Just make it disgusting. And then
I didn't watch it because
I'd be glad you didn't, because it could have been you could have gone off the deep end if you would have saw that.
Wow. Listen, I don't care, because I know the truth. I know my truth. I know the truth, and whatever they want to believe is up to them. I'm
so disturbed by this, though. You all know each other and they're doing this to you. It's just like, I wouldn't do that to my friends and or my colleagues and or my acquaintances that I know. If I have an issue with someone,
when I called out Bob that day because I felt like he was being a fake friend, and then and when you say, do I regret it? I said, yeah, I overreacted. But when I said yes and no, the reason I don't is because I see how they treat, and I'm like, oh, I was right. It was really a fake friendship.
Bob was
But
a
how
fake
much-
friendship to you?
What?
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead, ATP.
But how much do you think this is just like a shtick for like these shows? You know, like
could be.
that's one of my issues too. It's like
If it was a shtick for the show, there's been times that I've gotten drunk and talk shit about Shuli or Bob because I've gotten annoyed.
Yeah.
And what they do is they talk about me on air and they send me a link and they try to confront me on it. When I did this and they didn't send a link and they just trashed me, it spoke volumes to me, and it's like, wow, they are really trying to hide this buying viewers thing. Like they are not even interested in having a back and forth with me because they know that I'm telling the truth. If it's just me being drunk and being a fool, they would call me out like, you need to get your shit together, Rob, this and that. But it's not. They know that I'm telling the truth, and they don't want to they're not confronting me because they know that it's the truth. It's truth that I'm telling.
what's the situation now over there? Are they getting along with Patrick or not? I'm telling you, I only watch.
I don't know. I don't know because
watch
I'm
any
not,
of
I
the
mean,
episodes.
I enjoy
I don't know.
Patrick's show, but I don't have a friendship with Patrick. And the only thing I heard about
Did
Patrick
he
is
reach
that,
out to you?
no. The only thing I heard was that Patrick said, hey, this guy might be telling the truth. And they turned on him like a pack of fucking wolves.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I got sick of like the constant drama. It's like, to me, when and Mir can probably agree with me. on
I've
this.
seen it firsthand. It was horrible.
Yeah, and it's like when I became an MLC fan, I was watching those shows over COVID when Kevin Brennan had all these comedians on, and actually I think the last few weeks have been really good because he's having these old school comedians on again, and that's kind of what I like seeing. And you're getting away from just like drama all the time, and then it just became all this drama, and of course Chad made it a bit about himself. So like that's the kind of issue I have with all this stuff. I don't know how much is real, how much is fake. I don't want to deal with it every day. I think that you're mentally ill if you watch all these shows for 7-8 hours a day. I think
of course. Yeah, I agree with that too. But what's real, what's fake, is all I know is that I have no contact with. I've never had a whole lot of contact with any of them. But the only person that I've had contact with since I told the truth about buying viewers is podcasts that have booked me and Kevin Brennan. I haven't heard a peep from Shuli, Chris Abels, or Bob Levy.
They let Abels do a show on Friday. They don't care about the accusations anymore. No, they do care. They're just trying to cover it up. That's why they're continuously like everything's normal. That's what you do when you're trying to ignore shit.
But Chow, you agree with this, right? When I say this, I know he's got himself muted right now, but
No, I'm here.
this buying views stuff is pretty normal all over the internet.
Yeah, that was my initial point. And it's kind of like, I think most podcasts do it. But here's the thing that so kind of Shuli, but Kevin Brennan and Patrick Melton and Aaron Imholt and Shuli, all four kind of were playing this game of like, I'm the big dick. I've got the most subs. I've got the most live viewers at this time. I'm going head to head. They made it all like this for content, a competition. So that makes sense why like someone would, for an ego boost, or like you said, for to get on the network initially by being like, look, I'm balling out. But beyond that, I'm like, it's not that big a deal to me. But
either to me and Dr. Chow, I will tell you that one of the last interviews I did, it's not like I said, hey, I got shit on them. I'm going to tell I
got them now, boys.
I'm going to talk about them buying views. No,
right in the papers.
All I said is I'm annoyed. I told Kevin Brennan off the air before I went on the air. I said, I'm just annoyed that I can't get a show making money on Super Chats on Shuli Network because although I buy views, which I admitted, I said I can't afford the amount of views that Chris Abels buys. And that
should have taken out a loan, bro.
And that's what perked up Kevin Brennan's ears and got this whole thing started. It wasn't like, I got this information. I'm going to go public now because
bury him with it.
Yeah,
well, I think there was that one time when Brennan had Stuttering John on, and the Shuli Network went from like 1,000 views to like 2,500 or they were sniping them, like
Yeah.
in a second. And I was like, that's pretty obvious what's going on. Like,
Well, that's what I said. I said, well, when
that's not even
when
trying to
Kevin
hide
brought that up to me, I said, yeah, that probably is possible because I know this guy sells live viewers.
I don't think Clouder's coming on. You got anyone else you want to beef with? Maybe do you want to call up the views buyer guy and just hit him up on
Send Chris Abel's the
face
fucking
chat,
link, bro.
and see if
I
he'll
don't
jump
want to talk
on.
to Chris Abels, and Brian Clauder is a piece of fucking garbage. He's probably snorting fucking coke while his fat girlfriend's asleep.
No, that's true. But I do want to acknowledge
true.
I do want to acknowledge something real quick that someone said. Super chats will ruin an interview show. You're doing the interview or the super chatters. If you just want to say congrats or some bullshit, some basic thing, I'll show for half a second and take it right off. But if you actually have a question for the interviewee, we'll say that for the end of the show for the individual. Till then, we're not going to read them. Just letting you guys know beforehand. But anyway, so Rob,
Yes,
you got all this fucking crazy shit going on, man. You got these crazy Dabbleverse fans just attacking you, probably attacking your family to some extent, maybe your daughter too. Who knows? Saying horrible shit about
give
them.
him ideas, fucking Mir.
Hey, you know what, boys? Get them.
And Rob, those people are crazy. They listen to potatoes and corns and oranges. Those people are insane.
No, it's just like, here's my thing though, and I want to get back to it though. You have all these fucking problems now, man. Do you? Here, like, let me go through the list real quick with you, okay, Rob? Yeah. You don't get bidded for the Shuli Network, which is probably a joke within itself because they have.
Yeah, I just wanted to make some extra cash from super chats because my channel wasn't monetized. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, so you got that, that issue. You have the issue with your past. Actually, we never even got into this. So talk to me about your opioid addiction because I kind of want to get into a little bit with like addiction and whatnot. What started that? Like, what was it? Just like, because I had a buddy who like tore his foot apart. I mean, like actually his foot peeled like a banana. It was disgusting, and he was on oxys for a little bit, and he kind of started to get a little bit hitched to it, but he was able to somehow, as a miracle, kind of lean himself off and eventually not have to take.
Well, I mean, that's what happened to me. I had 2 herniated discs that were digging into my sciatic nerve.
Shit. Yeah.
And anyway, I couldn't even get dressed by myself in the morning. So I was on all these painkillers just so I could work. And then I had to go to rehab to get off the painkillers so I could have the back surgery. And
how was rehab for you?
It was all right. I mean, it was like
shit.
So then I had, just to get off them. So then I had the back surgery and they put me back on the painkillers, and I just kind of got addicted, and that I had to get myself off of them, and I ended up going cold turkey, and I went through fucking a week of
dude, that's dangerous as fuck, bro.
I did horrible withdrawals.
How was that for you? The withdrawals?
Oh, it was awful. I mean, awful.
Because that can kill you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I thank God I wasn't working and I think that's what me not working is what got me off of them, because before I knew that like I can't hold down a job and go through withdrawals because you're shitting your pants, you're throwing up,
shaking, you're sweating.
Yeah, it's not a
seeing
fun
shit.
Thing. Yeah.
So what year did you get off the pill?
Oh, I've only been a month clean now.
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit. So this is recent. You just finally what pushed you to that point when you were like, you know what, I need to get clean. I'm done. Because we say that so many times, but then we go right back into our drug abuse.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it forever, but it's like, again, like I couldn't function at work. And what happened is I'm out of work. I'm still out of work. I got an on-call job, but I ended up like, well, now I'm out of work. I have no money. I have nothing going. Like I got to get off these pills, and I had to sit at home and go through the withdrawals because there's no way that I could hold down a job and go through withdrawals. That's all.
So what are your I would say your what's your reasoning to keep you clean right now? Like, how are you keeping yourself clean? Like, are there like certain things you have, like you're like, like certain notions that you put in place, certain like walls you put up? Like, how are you keeping yourself clean now since you did it cold turkey with no
I
medical
mean,
help?
pretty much it's like, the money, because, once you're on these, even when you're prescribed them, you're ended up have to buy some. So it's like saving money. And then the other thing is like, I never want to go through those withdrawals again.
It was that scary for you and that intense. You were just like,
Oh, it was bad. It was really bad.
It was like train spotting, basically.
Yeah, it was
You saw the
fun.
dead baby in the crib in the corner. You're like, I can't. You're like, no, I can't do it. Damn.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, that's what I said. I said, now that I said, once I like got through, I remember getting, after the withdrawals were over, I remember getting on the elliptical and working out and doing stuff. And I said, I'll never fucking take
Congrats
a pill
for you,
again.
man. That's awesome. So you're
I
feeling
said,
better.
I said, I'll never fucking take a pill again because I can imagine going through those withdrawals again.
So how are you taking care of yourself nowadays?
Every day I do some apple cider vinegar. I do some
Good man. Yeah.
pre-workout
Magnesium drinks, some magnesium possibly.
Yeah, I do some Metamucil. Yeah, I
you sound like me.
I do. I just do workouts and keep myself clean.
No, I had a kidney stone a few years ago. It kind of runs in my family. So apple cider vinegar is one of the best things for that. And just exercise, working out. Yeah, totally. It's really simple, So what are you doing like for a living now? If I can ask, if you don't want to answer that, that's fine.
I'm not I have an on-call job bartending, but I'm still looking for a full-time job. Yeah.
Well, and where do you live, if I can ask? And I don't want to dox you.
In the Atlantic City area, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam, so you battled and this is very rare because usually people who have addictions like that can't overcome it to some extent. And they just fall apart and they become homeless. They become drag. It's just a shit show. And you just overcame it on your own, cold turkey. You fucking are doing all the things you need to do to get yourself right, your body right, your mind right.
I had to, yeah.
You had to, because, or else, I mean, your daughter is, in her younger age, whatever. I don't want to talk.
She's in her older teens. Yeah.
Older teens. Yeah. You're still a testimony to her. She still looks up to you, and she always will. You can laugh at that all you want, but she does.
No.
All right, you scumbag. She loves you. She does too.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, I do love my daughter. She's an important part of my life. Yeah.
Of course she is, and she looks up to you, and it's good for you to get clean finally. Even though it's a month in.
It's not finally. Like, I haven't been like a drug addict all my life. I mean, I went through a fucking traumatic back surgery that really fucking fucked. I couldn't even get dressed on my own.
Lil Mir is the worst interviewer of all time. You know what? Fuck you, bag. I mean, I'm sorry, sir.
Go watch Red Bar System, man. That's all you want to watch anyhow. So whatever.
Yeah. System, go watch that shit, you fucking bum. This is like, you all want to say, oh, we're horrible, we're doing a horrible job. No one's actually ever dived deep into Rob Saul. No one's gone dirty and gritty with.
They never wanted to.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. No one's wanted to.
Yes, but this is Mir Musk, and we get musky. It gets dirty here, and we bring on the degenerates, the most amazing man-to-man people, some of the blue-collar individuals of this world. And Rob Saul, you are truly that. Judging by your career, no, I mean you're a hard-working middle-class man.
Hey, why the hell not?
Why the hell not? Exactly. You're paying your dues. Some upper class rich man like Bob Levy's, I would say tricks you with the idea.
Bob Levy an upper class rich man. I mean,
he's got a pull.
I know the guy.
He's got a pull. He's got a pull.
Hey Rob, I got a really important question for you. A really deep question, because you were a bartender. What's the key to a good margarita? I say Grand Marnier. Like that's got to be mixed in with the
Ooh.
tequila in the mix.
Yep, not neat.
Yeah, you gotta have a good tequila. I would say Grand Marnier. You gotta have fresh squeezed lime juice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would do that. The fresh squeezed lime juice, Cointreau, fucking Grand Marnier floater on top. Yeah, and then a good tequila.
I agree, man.
I got a professional question too. Who's the most impressive or popular person you've ever served a drink to?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. I like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a perfect answer for you. God, this is embarrassing, but
Jennifer Aniston.
no, all right.
Kevin Brennan.
No,
Chris Abels.
no, God, no. So,
Nino
when
Bisconte.
I was working at Harrah's in Atlantic City, and the Price is Right was in Harrah's, and Jerry Springer was hosting. So
That's hard.
yeah, so Jerry Springer.
Yeah, man.
Jerry Springer brought his whole crew in, and Jerry Springer was the only one not drinking. All his crew was drinking martinis. So I'm coming with trays of martinis, which are just extremely difficult to balance. So I'm doing the
So
martinis.
they're in the glasses, the martini glasses, obviously.
Yeah, so
These are the
I'm
whole
doing the martini glasses on there. So Jerry Springer, all he was drinking was a regular unsweetened iced tea. So
What a pussy.
I get all these fucking martinis down, and I just put his fucking iced tea down. And I guess like there's so many of them, they had tables pushed together. So I put the fucking iced tea down, and I put it in the middle of a table, and it fucking wobbles, and it goes down all down his fucking lap. All down his phone. And he's like, motherfucker, and he jumps up, and his fucking his lap is covered with iced tea. And yeah, that was me. I fucking spilled.
What'd you say to him?
I was just like, this is me. I'm like, and he's like, fuck. And then he looks at me. He's like, it's okay. And it was just,
He didn't have you come on his game show, maybe for.
No.
No.
So how were the martinis? Were they dirty or shaken, not stirred? Like,
yeah. Listen, I don't know. I had a ton of martinis. I didn't bartend that day. I was just serving, but
Oh shit, you were a server back then. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, who, as a follow up, who would be a dream patron that you could serve a drink to, and what would the drink be, and to who?
Oliver Reed.
Well, of course I would. I don't know what I would serve her, but Stevie Nicks, I love.
That old whore.
Fucking hey! How dare you? Who said that? Who said that?
Dude, she did their guitar so dirty, dude. You can't deny it.
So okay, and then what's the setting? Like, what type of bar would it be? What would she order? And like, what would you say to her? Paint us a picture, sir.
Paint us the picture,
God.
Van Gogh.
Dr. Chow, I don't know.
Just don't lose
Jeez.
your ear.
I haven't really thought about this.
Like a basement, like dark lounge bar, or like a
In your
high
chamber?
rise, like a rooftop type glass bar.
Yeah, it would be a dark private place, and I would crush
Very dark.
the pills in her drink. I don't know.
Those oxys you crack over there.
No, I think he's talking about the date rape.
I'm
stuff.
only a month clean, baby. Don't worry.
Oh God.
Sounds like a good time.
Yes, it does. Have you ever drugged anybody before as a bartender?
No. Oh my God. No.
Have you ever
Jesus
seen that?
Christ. No. It was just Lil Mir. No, absolutely not.
Hey, Rob, do you know the story about, remember the old Raiders kicker, Sebastian Janikowski, right? Do you know the story about him?
Seabass.
Because, Seabass used to be a huge partier. And the one reason that he got in trouble and people thought, was in college, he tried to like date rape or whatever. But then he put it in his own drink and fucked himself up.
Was that at Florida State?
Yeah, I was at Florida State. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Rob.
Yeah.
Have you ever witnessed someone trying to like rape drug somebody before? Drug rape,
No, I haven't, but I've heard stories about
What's
it.
the worst story you ever heard?
Or
As a
just a good,
bartender.
like, what's a really good, like, crazy thing
Yeah.
you've seen in the bar?
God, I don't know.
Come on, man. You got bar stories. You're a goddamn bartender. Let's go.
I mean, the one thing I think of is I was working at a popular casino in Atlantic City, and some chick was like, she came there and she was just fucking belligerent, and she goes, "Get me my fucking drink," and blah blah blah. And I said, "Listen, honey," I said, "Beat it, because you're
Dang
being."
it.
I said, "Beat it. You're being fucking obnoxious." She's like, "I'm gonna get my boyfriend to kick your ass," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So she brings back her boyfriend, and it's like obviously some big fucking giant black guy.
Yeah, of
And
course
he-
he's black. Yeah.
And he fucking comes behind the bar and he gets in my face, and I'm like, now I'm panicking because I mean this guy could have fucking kicked my ass, but I'm like, all right, you can't let him know you're scared. So he came behind the bar, and I'm looking up at him like this. I go, "Get the fuck out from behind this bar! I'll fuck you up!" And I'm
Yeah.
doing all that, and he fucking actually left from behind the bar, and I was shocked. But and then management comes up, security comes up, and they're fucking all gathered around, and then he realized that his girlfriend was drunk and being a fucking
Bitch, whore, slash
drunk and
cunt, slash.
obnoxious whore, and
Yeah.
they showed him the foot, and he comes over and he tries to start apologizing to me, and I was like, "Fuck you," and
Yeah, he's
all
like,
that. But that was
you're
I
a
would say-
minority. Get out of here. Yeah.
yeah. How dare you?
How dare you come in my bar?
Yeah, don't even look me in the eyes, son.
How dare you? I understand who you are now, Rob. You know what? Good. I'm glad they're all shitting on you now. Piece of shit.
Do you
No.
gamble?
Yeah, do you gamble?
Like being
bro?
an AC guy, you've probably seen a lot of stuff.
No, I listen. I don't gamble. I am.
Are you sure you don't?
Yeah, I don't.
Are you a sports guy?
No.
No sports whatsoever? You watch UFC?
Sometimes UFC. Yeah.
Yeah, you know about that guy Adesanya?
No.
No. Okay.
So I didn't
I
want to
used
get
to-
into oh, go ahead.
I used to work the UFC shows. I would set up the rings and break them down, and I would.
Oh, no shit. Like
I
way
would
back
see
in the
the-
day? when
yeah,
it
I
was
would
in
see. I
ACL
would see the
detention?
guys like bleeding and stuff when I would go back there, and yeah.
So I do want to ask you a crazy question. And I don't mean to be offensive because you're a great guy.
Here we go.
You're a great individual. You seem like an amazing persona
Uh-huh.
who has a lot of talent and a lot of credentials under his belt to some extent. Who's a
Okay.
collar worker.
All right.
Who's also one of the leading people in leaving land. And
Who's got nice teeth?
Yeah.
you're just an amazing, you're like a phoenix, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever jerked off your dog before and enjoyed it to some extent?
Listen, I've never
He
jerked
goes,
off.
listen, let me tell you a story.
I've never jerked off my dog, period. I mean, I told a story about my dog had a hard on that was stuck out, and then the veterinarian jerked him off and said,
And you saw the cum fly by, you're like, holy shit, I can do
No,
that.
I wasn't even in the room. And she said, listen, and she threw me a fucking thing of lube and said, she
Get
said,
busy.
she said, we're not going to charge you, but all you had to do is you got to, and she didn't say jerk off, but she was like, you got to get this lube. And when you get the pink thing, you got to put it in and out till it goes in. And I'm like, so you're telling me I had to jerk off the dog? And she was like, looked at me like I was fucking crazy. And I'm like,
And you
and
paid your
she's like,
neighbor to do this shit,
yeah,
right?
you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, I had my neighbor do it.
You paid her
Next
though,
time
right?
I got stuck. Yeah, I did.
You see, Chris Abels didn't pay his neighbor, and that's why he has views on his show. You should have saved the money, jacked off your dog, and then paid that money towards the views, bro.
Yeah.
See, that's what businessmen do. But I kind of want to get back on the dog aspect.
The dog needed it as a medical from the vet, so
reported?
I had to get rid of all his toys. Like he had toys, but they said I can't even keep toys out for him because if he gets erect, it gets stuck, and then you're stuck with
Then
the
he's
duty.
barking or screeching, making a bunch of noise, right? When it gets
You got the duty of fucking getting it back in, because it's not like the dog, if it's stuck out more than a few hours, it could get affected.
Is
And
your
it could
dog
die.
dead now? Is he dead?
No, he's alive.
So you're not jerking him off right? Currently, yeah. Like,
No,
that's
I
no
haven't
longer an
jerked him off
issue.
in a while. I got rid of all his toys so he can't hump them.
How old is he?
Yeah, my dog is fine. It's
you
just
just get him a female.
if my dog gets an
he wants to
erection.
breed.
No, but he's fixed. He can't get a girl
Oh,
pregnant. He's if his fucking thing gets out, it's stuck out.
Oh, he's just a defect.
Yes, he's got a
from
defective
nature.
dick. My
Yeah.
dog's got a defective dick.
So he's handicapped.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you a
Give
little
him a
bit.
break.
I want to talk to you a little about New Jersey though, because Rob, you're from you're from the South, right? New Jersey.
Yeah, South Jersey, yeah.
South Jersey is a very deep area. Very, there's a lot of roots there. You
Yeah.
know what's going on. Can you explain to me how South Jersey's currently doing with the gangsters moving in with the? Because I've heard in Jersey you guys have had a lot of issues with gangs and shit like that hurting people. How's the crime going on in Jersey for you? Is it been kind of you kind of scared to go outside nowadays?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's always been crime around here. I don't know.
Has New York fallen, do you think, with the migrants coming in?
What?
I can't. I'm sorry. I try to keep a straight face. Hang on. My issue is, you look back in New York, because you've been in New Jersey for how long?
All my life.
All your life. How old are you, sir?
I'm 41.
Okay, so you saw New York, and it's lower days and its heyday with Giuliani, where the hell his name is, right? That bald headed.
I don't know.
No.
In the 90s, New York was all cleaned up because
it was all cleaned up. Giuliani was killing it. Is that correct? You can agree with that?
You're talking to me?
Yeah, motherfucker. Aren't you from New Jersey? New York? Yeah.
I'll attest to that because I used to go to New York in the 80s with my dad to Yankees games. And in the 80s, it was a dump. And the Bronx was it was cool because it was a dump, but it was also a
right.
dump,
You saw the burning trash in the trash can. You're like, holy shit, this is
I remember
New York.
taking a walk into Central Park with my dad. And it's, I'm
homeless
from
person fucking a pigeon.
I'm from these suburbs in Canada and kind of had a little bit of a sheltered life. And this guy looks at me. He's like, and I was staring at him because it's almost like the first time I seen a homeless person in my life. Right. And he's like, hey kid, what do you want to do? Suck my dick. Right. And then I was like, I jumped on my dad. Almost I was so scared. Right. And then, the Bronx
was scared off Rob Saul. He's so scared from the story.
Well, the Bronx was all burnt out. And then, so this was late 80s. This was late 80s. And then I went in 1999 for an investment conference when I kind of was starting out in my business. And I was like, what? Times Square is all Disney stores and, all the seedy stuff is gone. And it was like a totally different place. And now it's kind of going back to where it was. What was that one series they did on it?
South Park or some shit?
No. I think it was The Deuce or whatever it was. Anyhow, I can't remember. It's a series and it's about Times Square. It's called The Deuce and it's about a bar in New York and they go through the 70s and 80s. It's really worth watching. It was on HBO and they show it's kind of takes place again in New York during those seedy areas and it's kind of funny because they did it in 2017, 2019,
right?
And right before New York has started going to shit again, or crap again, So,
I was trying to ask Saul, Rob, if he would actually be honest about it, because New York is falling. Is New York? There he is. Come here, buddy. I got a question for you.
He's not even New York. He's more where South Jersey is. That's Philly,
Oh, wait. So he's a Jersey's Philly boy. So
he's more Philly, right? Right, Rob, where you're at?
You're a Philadelphia boy?
Yeah, we're South Jersey. We're all Philly teams here.
Oh, so you're an Eagles fan? Same here.
Yeah.
That's his
He's a
neighborhood.
Yeah.
By the
So
way, when you
Go-
see me
uh,
turning around, I'm watching the game. I got the game on behind.
yeah, who's winning right now? Real quick.
14-3 for the Seahawks.
Yeah,
So,
okay. That's Giants are garbage. Anyway,
yeah, they crap.
so you're a kind of a Philadelphia guy. What is your take on the opioid epidemic? Because you are a user of drugs. Like, what is your take?
I'm
on
a
what's
former
going
user of drugs. How dare you?
on? Oh shit! I'm
Lil
sorry.
Mir, how dare you?
Yeah, you know, I just trying to do the best I can.
What?
You fucking drug addict! I knew it. You went to go do a line, everybody. You hear that? First year on Mir Musk. Drug addict right here in the building.
I had to piss, you little fucking bitch.
You know what? Pass the test right now. I guarantee you fucking high as shit. You know, anyway, though, let's get back.
Nah, I'm drunk, but yeah,
No, being drunk's all right. You know what? A little bit of liquor here and there, a couple of beers. You know,
Hey,
even though
why
they're-
now?
Even though they're
Well,
Bud.
with
No,
your-
whoa, wait. Before you say anything, why Bud Light? You know, you've seen that controversy with Bud Light. What's going on with Bud Light? Do you just enjoy that shitty beer, or is there some type of
No, I usually don't drink beer at all. I usually drink
So why Bud Light?
White Claw Surge, but a neighbor got this for me today. This Bud Light line.
Were they trans or?
No,
Oh,
they were just ratchet.
they were just ratchet. Good ATP.
Oh, yeah, because see, my dad had a knee replacement in 2018. He's got to get his other knee replaced next year. And he was actually and my dad's super disciplined. Like he barely drinks and like all one beer with dinner and that's it. And he was very adamant about not getting hooked on the painkillers, you know, after his knee surgery.
Well, yeah, I mean, I got addicted to it, but I mean, like, literally, I was like bartending, and I couldn't even I had neighbors coming and helping me get dressed. I would take pills, and I couldn't move, and they would help me get dressed, and then I would be able to finally walk. And then
how did you get to the bathroom?
Through help. Yeah, I was just,
no shit. You're that fucked.
Did you have one of those things? You can buy those
Man.
things like they have at the hospital. You can just pee in them right in your bed, like you know the.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad, but and then I finally got approved for the surgery, and they said you got to get off these pills. We can't do a surgery with this. So I got off of them, but then they put me back on them again after I had the surgery. So that's what it is. What it is. I don't know what to tell you.
So what about chigs, bro? Like, are you pulling?
Yeah, are you pulling pussy? You're a New Jersey guy. You got the accent. I'm sure you pull some freaking Jersey puss.
Yeah, it's been a while, sir.
How long has it been, man?
God.
Come on, you give me honest here. You're with the boys. We're all drinking. We're all having a fun time. The game's on. We're all fucking hanging. What's up? You pulling some tail? Pussycat? What's up?
Yeah, I mean the last piece of tail I got. I mean, usually I'm very picky, but the last
Don't pull a Ray. Don't pull a Ray. Don't be picky.
Yeah, I know.
you gotta
I
be
am.
picky.
I the last chick I banged was a fat chick.
Yeah. What? Tell us about
That I
it.
don't agree with.
Well, it's better than Ray being a 50-year-old virgin. So
Yeah, he's been a virgin since he's 21 or whatever the fuck it
Well,
is.
I mean, I was on the pills. I know that. And she came over, and I remember I was making out with her, and then she took off her top. And the next thing I knew, she said she was nudging me and said, I'm going to go home. Thank you for having me. And I was asleep on her tit, and I was drooling. It was pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah, you pulled that shit somehow. How'd you pull that? Explain it how you pulled
And then
that.
she
dude.
came back and fucked me like a week later. But I mean, it was weird.
Shit.
big rack.
Big
Yeah,
big
rat.
rolls.
Yeah, big everything. Yeah.
Tell us more. Like what?
Patty cake.
What type of weight are we talking?
300.
I mean, it's the
250.
biggest I've ever had. I wouldn't say she
250,
was like
300.
Nah, not that big.
No.
She wasn't even 200. I mean,
So-
yeah.
Oh wow.
Do you have your
Oh, wow.
eye? Do you have your eye on somebody right now? You're kind of like you're stalking, kind of like
No, I have my eye on a job. I mean, it's just like
Yeah, you gotta
I'm not.
No, I got a crazy question for you, actually, real quick. As a bartender, what's the best puss you pulled as a bartender while working on the bar job? You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of like with a patron, you're like, what's the best you ever put? Like a Tom Cruise. What's that movie
I
called?
don't have any
Cocktail.
Tom Cruise
Cocktail.
cocktail stories. Yeah.
Come on, you must have some, man. Some
No-
Irish gent
no
just comes up to you and
with
says, "Oh
shoots.
yeah,
So he said fell asleep on her penis. No, on her tits.
What's the best bartender like hookup you ever had with a patron or a worker before? Can you tell us that?
Oh God, Patreon or a worker? I mean, I really didn't. I mean, I fucked some people I work with. I fucked some black chick I worked with.
How was that? How was that? Creamy?
I mean, it was pretty good. I will tell you that. I mean, she had some fucking titties on her.
Yeah, I
Oh,
bet she
nice.
did. Amazon tits, bro. But anyway,
Dude,
let's
I
get
live
back
in the
to it.
Bahamas, so yeah, I definitely have. I dated a few black girls, so yeah.
How was black pussy for you, bro? Was that good?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's actually, but this is where we're talking about being a little more picky. So last year, I hooked up with some local girl, and she actually became like obsessed with me and started coming up to my house like
Randomly going, "Oh yeah, masa."
yeah, like Fatal Attraction stuff. And I actually
You must need a place to stay, huh?
I'm friends with all the cops here, and I had to tell the cop, like, you got to tell her to stop coming to my house. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, she's just like showing up at like 9 p.m.
Would you fuck her though? When she pulled up?
No. It's like it was like a one-time kind of thing. It was like
Oh yeah.
we were
Just a
kind of
hit and
drunk,
quit it.
and I was single at the time, and it was just like, but yeah, it was ridiculous. She would literally come up here like every night, and my brother was visiting me, right, and we're just like, it was about this time of year, maybe a little later, like October, November, and we're watching football and stuff, and I'm just like, get out of here. And I know I had to literally go to the cops and say, tell her not to come up anymore because this is like getting like creepy. So anyway, I heard that she hooked up. I guess she likes white guys, so she hooked up with some other guy. So
Rob, what's the best international pussy you've ever had, bro?
Well, I listen. My ex-wife was Cuban.
How'd you pull her, man? She's Cuban.
Oh,
That must be
man.
fiery.
crazy fun.
What was the first time you ever met your wife? And you took it on a date. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like, how'd you pull her the first time you guys ever met? How'd
That's
you
a
go on
good
a date with
question.
her?
Rob, I dated a couple Cuban chicks. Like, yeah, fun,
Hey.
but totally crazy.
Hang on. Let me hear this though. How'd you pull your wife the first time? How'd you get her to go on a date with you? How'd you do it? I know you're a sly dog, so go ahead.
No, I mean, oh God, this is. I was in a. I got injured in a. I had an
This guy's always
injury
getting hurt.
in a hospital, and I was in the hospital with her
Right.
mother. And
Oh,
my dad would visit me and her mom. I mean, she would visit her mom.
Right.
Oh no shit! That's a wild story.
She
There,
got
like, there's you had the curtain between you or something, basically, right?
And then we would all play like checkers or something.
Oh,
together.
that's hot. Yeah. That's
Yeah, and I don't know. And then
cool. You
It
said
was-
checkmate,
her
and
mom?
then you got in the
and then
bed.
she gave me her phone number, and when I got out, I called her, and like she had a boyfriend, but
How'd you work that then? Because boyfriends are hard to come. Hard
well,
to,
she was like, she acted like it was her mom. My mom loves you. She wants to,
have us talk.
my mom wants us to all hang out like we did at the hospital, and so I did that, and then she said, we went back to the house, and her mom went to bed, and then all of a sudden she gets in some outfit with her titties hanging out.
Oh
and I
no
was
shit!
like, oh.
Did you
yeah.
fuck her that night?
I didn't fuck her that night, but we
you
did
kiss
a
her?
lot of we definitely kissed.
How'd you fuck her then? Like, what was your first night fucking her? How'd you pull that?
Probably when she came to my house like a couple nights later when she officially broke up with her boyfriend.
She was like crying, like, "Oh, my boyfriend!" Like, "Oh, here."
No. She that night she told me that she wanted to leave her boyfriend and be with me, but
And then she came over, like, looked at you in your eyes, and you're just like, "Okay."
yeah.
Did your dad hook up with the mom?
No, my dad's gay. He was.
Oh.
You know, he when he was alive, he was gay. But yeah,
Oh my god.
my dad was
My dad's gay.
So he wingman for you.
He's an OG wingman right there, buddy. I'll tell you what. So hang on. How did you pop the question? What made you want to pop the question? How did you pop the question? Answer both questions, please.
I got her pregnant.
So you got her pregnant.
Within a month of dating her, I got her pregnant.
So you get her prego. She's busting at the seams. You're like, you know what?
Yeah.
I actually want to fucking marry this girl.
Yeah.
So how'd you ask the question though? Because it's a very special moment for women when you ask that question. So how'd you do it?
Well, it was weird. My cousin that she's married to now.
Don't mention that fact, but continue.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I had a whole, I was going to propose to her.
Sorry, David. I'm trying to cancel out the facts more. But go ahead.
But
I mean, wait, what? No, I didn't mean like that.
So I emailed him and I said, I got my girlfriend a ring. I'm going to propose to her. And then I caught her going through my emails, and which she's probably emailing him. Who knows? But
who cares? Who cares about that gentleman?
Yeah.
Continue.
So anyway, she was crying because I called her, and I just gave her the ring. So we did a fake proposal in front of the family.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
And you guys were happily married for how long?
7 years.
God, that's a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And you had the baby. How was like your guys'? I mean, I guess you guys were really good at first after the baby came out and everything like that. You guys were very happy. You guys fucked a lot after the baby came out. A few months afterwards, a couple months afterwards, when she was healed. You're killing it. You're having a great time. You're doing your thing. You're fucking your wife now. You guys have a beautiful baby daughter. You're enjoying your lives. You guys are successful, middle class personas.
Yes.
You're enjoying yourselves. You're enjoying her. When did it start to go downhill? When you started to notice it? Like not when. And don't tell me when your cousin came in, because that's just
that is. Yeah, no, that was.
No, it wasn't, because there must have been something before that that pushed her to that edge.
No, what happened?
Were you doing something, or was she doing something to you that made you reject her? Like, what was going on?
No. My cousin, he was dating a good friend of mine, and he was living with her in New York, and she contacted me and was like, this guy's a scumbag, and I got to get him out of my house. And she kicked him out, and I let him move in with me. And then my wife at the time was like, wow, this guy's a real scumbag. You got to get him out of here and all that. And then I got him a job. And then I noticed the longer he was there, the less the sex was happening between me and my ex-wife.
Why didn't you bring that up though as a man right off the bat, bro? You know what's
I
going
did,
on.
but listen, I didn't think he would do that to me. I'm like, what's the fuck?
Come on, dude. He's a dude. Dude, yeah. I mean, but
yeah, I really didn't think he would do that. But yeah, I mean,
men are dogs. You know what they say? When you put a ring on it, you even never know.
Yeah, but yeah.
So the sex is getting less and less each time as that scumbag of a cousin's been living with you.
Yeah.
Your wife is ignoring you more and more.
Yeah. And then one day I went to work and I came home and the police were at my house and said they had a restraining order against me. They said I was beating up my ex-wife, which, by the way,
do that to you
because she's an animal. Not
just because she's a fucking Oriental or whatever she is, but just because she's
not Oriental. She's an Asian. She was Cuban, not Oriental.
Same thing, man. Same thing.
I'm sorry. She's Oriental.
I'm just like, what happened to my life that I'm on this show? Like, what the heck?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be offensive. I'm just trying to piece the story together. One sad story at a time. So, your piece of shit communist wife
yeah
uses you maybe for a green card. We don't even know at that point. But
well, she had a green card. She was born here.
Okay. So she hangs out with this. Now, I'm just going to go off on a limb here. Your cousin got kicked out of your grandma's because he tried burning the house down.
Yeah.
And he's just a fucking loser. I'm gonna be honest with you. He sounds like a fucking loser.
Still is. Yeah.
Still is.
Yeah.
You seem like a man with a lot of demons, and I'm gonna be honest with you here, okay?
Okay.
No more ethnic Oriental jokes.
No.
You seem like a very honest man who has harbored a lot of animosity and
It's all there building inside of me.
you're like a furnace just cooking. You're like a pot of stew being brewed, and I can see it in your eyes and in the way you laugh. But you're honestly a good man at heart because you care so much about so many things. You're
Okay.
you're like yeah.
You're a king, man.
Yeah, you're like
I feel
We can tell.
you're so great.
okay. Yeah.
Oh, you get what I'm getting at anyway.
Hey, you care
And
about
then-
people buying fake views?
Yes, he does.
Yeah. I mean, that really you can fuck
Woodward.
my wife, but don't fucking buy fake views.
This is the Bob Woodward of the Dabbleverse. He broke the biggest story of the year.
He did, but you're just so great. And then you get abused. How beautiful? Okay, hon. How hot is this guy, your cousin? Because there's no fucking way your beautiful Latina wife leaves you for this fucking absolute loser who's fucking got like burning felony charges, possibly.
I gotta
Something
tell
like
you,
that.
he's got a lazy eye. He's
What?
he's about 90 pounds and he's disgusting. Like when I
Meth.
used to listen, when I used to go out to bars with him and he'd hit on women, they would laugh at him. He would cry because women would laugh at him when he
So how
would
do you
hit him.
pull your wife? Because is she hot? Is your girl hot?
She was. She's
Honest.
not now.
Why is she like short Latina, fat now because she had the baby and all that good shit?
Well, no, I mean she had the baby and she was hot when she was with me, but she got comfortable with him and now she's a big fat blob. Yeah,
Yeah,
How tall is she?
she's my height, like 5'7".
Damn, that's still decently like for a woman. She's a fat blob now with like the skin hanging.
I mean,
from the arms,
she's fucking fat. Yeah,
the cankles and all that shit, right?
Does the
I mean,
underarm shake?
So
yeah, man, just
she
disgusting.
and were you fucking her good enough for her to stay or no?
I mean, I thought I was. So yeah,
Okay, so she leaves you for basically a
a lazy-eyed fucking
lazy eye
freezer, yeah.
who's fucking probably making himself yak, whenever he eats a meal. But
Yeah.
What about the mom? Because it's like paws on a puppy dog. Was she kind of big and fat too when you're at the hospital, or was she pretty nice and well kept?
I mean, she was just kind of dumpy and frumpy and
Yeah.
you know.
judge a girl by her mom's appearance.
Yeah, it's like
Always
paws on
do
a puppy
that.
dog, bro. Like when you
Dude,
go get a puppy,
She
you
more
gotta,
looked like
you gotta
her
look at
dad.
the
One time I met her
paws.
her dad was a big Cuban guy with a big giant head that was real fat. That's what she looks like now.
Now I'm gonna be honest. We go ATB. Say your question real quick. I'm gonna take a piss. And I'm gonna be honest with this.
No,
real quick, 'cause I got
that's
some
I,
for him.
I like Latina women. My girlfriend right now is Colombian, and that's always the issue. Like their moms are always like, like kind of like balloons, and you're just like, what? In 20 years, are you gonna look like this? Because that's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Like, like.
Yeah, it can work. Yeah. Who wants to fuck that?
My father married like a younger Latina girl, and they got divorced or whatever. And yeah, now like supposedly he hasn't seen her in a number of years, but it's just like your ex-wife. She got like really big. People have told him, right? So it's just like,
It's a
just
shame.
and but not that old of an age. Like you're talking 35, 40, like blowing up like that, So
Okay, here's my thing for you, sir. Real quick.
Okay.
Do you, as some aspect, still like think of her, care about her in any way? Do you? I know you see her because you're a child, but
I don't. But
And
yeah,
you're- and
my daughter is 15. I have no contact with my cousin or my ex-wife. I do all contact through a phone with my daughter. Yeah.
So when they drop her off, you don't look at them, you don't see them.
No, they don't drop her off. Yeah, I pick her up and they fucking they don't even show up. She just comes out. Yeah,
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
Did you
I
have
have
to pay a
no
lot of
contact with them. No
Did you have to
contact.
pay a lot of support, or
What's that?
did you have to pay a lot of support when it happened, or because
No,
that was
because
one issue? Like I don't want to talk too much about my family, but my dad's second wife like cheated on him, and he still had to pay her support when they got divorced, which to me is BS. Like she's cheating on you. It's like, come on, So
nah, I brought my whole family to court, and I won in court. I pretty much won in
well,
court
he had a prenup too, so like whatever. So
No, but can you do you like? I know you go through all these whores, you go through all these women, you talk to them. Have you never felt the same connection you had with your ex?
The girl I dated after my ex, I loved way more than my ex. Yeah.
Okay, but it's over though.
What was
right?
her deal? Like what?
She was just young, and she ended up moving to Georgia, but she lived with me for a while. But she was the best sex I've ever had in my life.
Right, but
What
that
was her
doesn't.
profile?
Go ahead.
What was her profile? Like you went from the Cuban to what?
She was black. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but you say she was the great sex ever. That great sex is great. I've had great sex before, but
And we laughed. We had a good time when we just had a good time together.
right, but you never connected the same way on a deeper level than you did with your ex-wife. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct. I connected on a way deeper level than I did with my ex.
Really?
Yeah,
You
the
don't
second
think
was
you
better.
could win your ex back?
I don't want to win her back unless she wants to lose weight. Maybe, I don't know.
So no. Like my thing is this: like maybe she's just because Latinas are very different from white people. When you look at it, like you're a white man, you're Italian, you're white, right?
Yeah.
You're Italian, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you're Italian white. So we're not very used to. And she's straight from Cuba, right? Like off the boat.
Well, her dad is. Her mom was like Irish or something.
No, okay, so she's basically the Latino, yeah, because Irish, but Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is this: she's like that woman in a fairy tale who is
That eventually dies. That would be a fairy tale. to me.
no. You gotta listen to me. You don't pull Chris Abels and talk over me. You just gotta listen.
Don't pull it, Abel's.
No pulling Abels, all right, Kane. Now here we go.
Oh, God, Jake
So you need you have such a beautiful history with her, and it's so enriched with your child, and it hurts every child to have divorced parents, and it does, and it does with everybody. And I think she seems very immature. She's fresh off the boat, one generation over, so she probably doesn't understand American culture yet. Where you just can't just go to your another hombre, another amigo, and just take absence of leave. Here in America, white man,
Oh,
we
God.
stay with that person forever. And maybe she needs you to showcase her your bravado, your love to her again. Because I think you can say it's all her fault that she went with her cousin. But
I mean, what they did to me was horrible.
I know, but you don't think you were any type of way somewhat encouraging that? You kind of knew what was going on. You're not dumb. You're a smart man.
No, I didn't. I was.
Come on, dude. If I saw my girl
I was
flirting with my cousin, or bamboozled. What are you, Harry Potter? Come on,
Yeah, I
dude.
was
They didn't put a spell
bamboozled.
over you.
But wouldn't that be the ultimate revenge? Is if you get her back, maybe not now, maybe in 10 years or something.
That's what I'm
That'd be pretty
saying.
funny.
It is a story.
Oh, I know that would be perfect if she wasn't a big fat pig right now. But yeah, I mean, yeah, right now I'm like, oh my God, I want to shake his hand and buy him a beer. Like, oh my
No.
God, you got this
No.
big fat pig out of my life.
You're
Oh
like
my
you're
God.
like Leslie. What's that fucking movie? The Princess Diaries. You've been away on your pirate ship for years, and she's found another man, and she's falling in love with him as a king, and you're gonna save her from him. You have to do this. Look at me right now. She needs to be saved, and you're the one who will save her.
You save her. You save her.
No. You know what you do? You say
I
as
don't
you
want
wish. As you wish.
Lil Mir, you take her.
I will
She's
not
yours.
take her. She's
Promise
yours.
him right now that sometime in the next 10 years you'll shoot your shot again.
Please. Andre the Giant won't be
Manifest it.
there.
No, I will not.
Come
This
on.
big fat giant pig that made my life miserable. I
You
will
love
not.
her. I know
shoot
you
my
do.
shot.
You know why? You know why he does this? Because he still loves her somewhat. If you talk this horrible about somebody, you still care about them.
Oh, God, I hate you guys.
Why? We're just trying to understand.
Hold
you,
on,
man.
I gotta give
think so,
Declan
man.
Host her number. Declan Host wants her number. I'm gonna give it.
I
Declan,
don't
it's
think
declined,
so.
you
I
dumbass.
saw-
Aren't you American? What the fuck?
Declan.
Get one decline.
Decline. No, but I gotta head out of here soon. I'm getting yelled at by the wife, my Latino wife. You know, before
Oh.
cousin gets.
Why is
here
your
first.
cousin coming over? What's
Yeah,
happening?
exactly. I gotta watch out for that shit. But I do have another deeper question for you, real quick, because I do kind of want to understand this about you, and maybe ATP/David and Dr. Chow can probably talk about this.
Okay.
So you're on the ropes. You're against the Shuli Network to some extent. You're in bed with KB because of your own decision making. You regret it because you've lost a friendship.
regret it.
No. Hang on. Let me just say my piece and you rebuttal, okay? So you've lost a friendship in Gina, possibly because Bob is part of that network. You betrayed Bob, even though he's been a scumbag to you most of your guys' career.
Yeah.
And then Chris Abel's and then you and Chris Abels have always been at odds, so who gives a shit about that? He's just a lying scumbag at this point. Not my words, his Chris Abels, so please come on the show. Can't wait to have you on. Anyway,
you're gonna have this motherfucker on. I'm going. Bye.
you know what? I'm gonna tell your wife right now what's been going on. But anyway, sorry, ex. But you just seem like you have a lot going on. You seem, I'm shutting the show down. Hang on a second. Sorry, my girl's freaking tweaking right now. I just want to understand is like you're in this place now. You're in purgatory as an individual.
Am I?
I mean, yes, you're kind of like we're having you on because we're a neutral podcast. We show love to Shuli, we show love to Steel Toe, we show love to Chaz Zumach, no matter who it is. It just, we show love to Chris Abels if he ever wants to come on. Please come on.
Why
But
would
anyway,
you want him on?
he seems like an interesting gentleman. Like what I've heard from you is he's a very successful comedian. His successful podcast.
No. A successful comedian. No, he's a very successful person that steals people's houses away from them. Not comedian. No,
All I heard was
Well, that's
successful
funny, though,
podcast.
so.
He gets on Shuli Network because he's successful and he's a go-getter, unlike you.
Oh yeah,
right?
he has money from stealing from dead people that he can buy views. Yeah.
Can you blame him though? Come on, man. They're dead.
Stealing from
people.
dead people's funny, bro.
Fuck those fucking dead people. All right. All I gotta say is this, Rob.
Yes. Sir.
You need to not be so vengeful towards people.
Oh, stop it! Fuck
No,
you.
no.
That's Lil Mir. I don't need no advice. From
You ruined your friendship with Gina over this. I mean, come
Gina. Why? I've never been.
on. No,
friends with
Gina.
Gina.
Bob's right.
Come on, you do care about her though. Come on.
I do care about Gina. Yeah, I do.
Will you rectify this, please?
I'll think about it. Goodbye.
Goodbye. And he's gone just like that.
All right. Let's
Okay.
catch some sleep and regroup and
I want to
Do
watch
it
the
again.
game. So let's go.
yeah, later.
Goodbye,
Yeah,
buddy.
Later, guys.
Later, Dave.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Dr. Chow, as always, it was a
Later,
great
Lil
interview.
Mir. Till next time, bro.
That was fun.
Appreciate it.
I actually have to say that was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. That was great.
That was great.
Thanks, guys. Peace.
Bye.